Welcome to episode number 264 of the Keep Up podcast.
Where if you eat beans and they taste like everything, is it any flavor at all?
Like an everything bagel?
No, like the Harry Potter every flavored beans.
Those aren't individually flavored like everything, though, right?
No,
You gotta eat them all at once.
That's everything. A weird thing that's come out recently, an everything flavor.
Yeah, everything but the bagel.
Everything but the bagel.
You've seen that, right?
Yeah.
That's like
it's a newer thing. Like,
yeah.
and pumpkin spice I thought was new, but I think pumpkin spice has been around
Pumpkin's
forever.
been spicy since the dawn of time, dude.
The spicy pumpkins.
What's the last pumpkin flavored thing you ate?
Pumpkin cookie thing.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was really good.
You like pumpkin spice? You like spice stuff like apple, like spice cake? Like,
yes.
You do?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I do enjoy spice cake.
But I find myself indifferent to pumpkin spice. I'll have it.
Yeah.
But like when pumpkin spice season started, I'm like, meh.
You're like, whatever.
Yeah.
I like coffee, bro.
I like
the pumpkin spice
bro coffee.
Yeah. I watched a guy eat a whole pumpkin on YouTube the other day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like all of it?
All of it, dude. Literally just bit in the pumpkin and then dipped it in Nutella.
Why?
And I don't know, it was like kind of soft, which is probably not great because I feel like that's when they're rotting, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's all good. You know what's not rotting?
What?
The Keep Up podcast, where I'm Brett and Tim is Tim.
That's me.
And we talk about all the things we consume, be it media or food.
Mm-hmm.
We're fresh off the heels of Halloween
Hello,
2023.
Bean.
And this is gonna be a packed episode.
A packed episode.
We decided right before we started that we're gonna go through everything we have on our list, and
Yes.
our list is a little lengthy. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's a list a shared note
Between each other.
right,
Between brothers.
using the Native Notes app on your Apple iPhone,
Mm-hmm.
iPhone 15 now out and available.
Yeah.
This episode brought to you by Apple.
Use code Tim is Chim.
Why do I feel like that can get us in trouble?
Well, then at the end of this this joke, you're supposed to say, actually not a sponsor.
Oh, definitely a sponsor.
Oh, okay.
100%.
Totally. Use code
Not
Tim is
actually.
Chim.
Not actually.
Tim is Chim 12.
Chim is Chim.
Tim is Chim.
Tim is Chim 12.
Tim is Chim 12.
Remember when you discovered that I said Tim is Tim
Uh-huh.
after I'd been saying it for like a year and a half?
Yeah.
It was incredible.
It was a great time.
We're not sponsored by Apple.
No.
We have no
not
sponsors, dude.
Yet. We can.
We're sponsored by love and justice.
That's all we need in life.
Yeah, I feel
Love
good
and
about it.
justice.
Yeah, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Speaking of pumpkins,
Uh-huh.
Halloween was yesterday.
Halloween was yesterday.
We didn't hang out together.
No.
But let's go chronologically.
Okay.
A week ago, 2 weeks ago?
It's been 1 week.
It's been. We went to Canopy Lake Park
Yes.
that had 5 haunts.
5.
And what's fun about this park, when they do their haunts, is that theme park by day, still theme park at night.
Yes.
But during the spoopy season,
Mm-hmm.
at, what was it, 6 o'clock?
Yeah. Yep.
They unleash the monsters.
They unleash the beast.
And it's one of my favorite things at a theme
Mm-hmm.
park. They bring all of the scare actors to the center of the park, and they do a countdown.
Yes.
And they're all lined up.
Which I've never been there for that.
You've never seen that?
I didn't know they did
How
it.
cool is it?
It was awesome.
It's the best.
Mm-hmm.
And they just explode.
Yeah. They're all just sitting in the center, and there's a little music that plays,
Yeah.
and it's building up to...
It was Fall Out Boy this year.
Fallout Boy.
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, hey, that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a different song every time, though.
I can't remember.
I don't either. I don't know.
It's got to change because that song's not that old.
Right.
But continue.
Anyways, the song builds up.
Yep.
And then, when you get to the chorus, when you get to the BAM part of the song,
Right, the band part.
the band part, they all just run towards everybody because there's a big crowd that parties up around.
Oh, yeah.
Piles on top of
Yeah,
each
you're
other.
in a giant circle
Yep.
watching.
And it was awesome.
It's so cool.
It was creepy.
Yeah.
Mom
Yeah.
got a great video.
Yeah, she did.
Mhm.
It was awesome. And so we went with our mom and our sister, Bailey, shout out. I don't has she ever listened to the podcast?
I think she does listen to it.
Oh, that's cool. What's
yeah.
up, Bill?
Hey.
And I call her Billy. That's why I said Bill.
Yeah.
Just in case everyone's like, what?
Her new name's Bill.
Yeah. And we brought my children.
Yes.
It was their first year going to haunts.
Their first horror experience of a haunted house variety.
And it was so interesting because the first 3 we went to, they were pretty good. They are 10 and 13 for context. Never been through anything like this. And they did pretty good. They gripped my arms to the point of circulation interruption,
Aha.
where I thought my limbs were just going to fall off. But they made it through, and, heavy breath at the end, like,
That was intense.
but they did it. The haunts were pretty cool,
Yeah, I would say pretty solid.
pretty decent. Then we went to the last two,
Yes.
and I've never seen them so afraid.
Crazy.
Yeah, we almost didn't make it. The way they do it here is there's one standalone house that was their new one this year, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was the what they call it, cargo, and it was like the theme was a ship that was carrying some kind of virus, and everyone got infected. So the sets and all the props were incredible.
Yeah, it was like Lovecraftian. There was a lot of tentacles. And
Yeah,
it was pretty crazy.
but it wasn't super scary. It was just cool.
Yep, that one was just visually nice.
And then the last two were a zombie scenario, and what was the other one? I can't even remember.
It was like the military zombie one, and I can't remember either.
Dude, what was it?
I have the ticket over there, so it'll say what the name of it is.
Let me see if I can find it. It was so that was the first one.
Yeah.
Cargo.
The Breach.
The Breach and Facility 235. So some kind of like virus outbreak.
Yeah, I guess so.
Weird. But those two were attached.
Yeah.
So you go through one and then you're just in between houses, but there's there's emergency exits, but I had to like stop with the kids and be like, are we going in? Or
Yeah, can you handle it?
Dude, panicked throughout the whole last one.
Yeah.
And the big thing was Simi was upset because actors kept whispering in her ears. Did I tell you we figured out why?
No.
Okay, so I didn't realize this, but if you have never been in a haunt, when you're going through them, there are a ton of like jarring noises, and this one had like the loud like psh, and then there's all these snapping noises and all that stuff going on. And there, I forget. I'm like, okay, they've never been through it. They're not expecting that.
Right.
Simi was plugging her ears the entire time.
Oh.
So the actors are like
getting up and close and being like,
100%.
oh, she's afraid.
And that's what they did, because she was like, why do they keep whispering in my ear? And then she was like, I was blocking my ears like the whole time. You would think that, and I was like, oh, that's why.
You've doomed yourself.
That's why. Yeah. And that was the big thing we did for Halloween this year.
Yeah, we sometimes try to do like a couple spooky events and stuff like that. But we had the party too. We did the party the night before.
What party? Oh yeah, we did
night.
have a party.
Yeah,
that was fun.
That was like spooky
game night.
But yeah, you're right. We didn't do like a ton, but it was still fun.
Yeah, I didn't say we didn't do a ton. I'm just saying that was the big thing.
That was the big thing.
And then what'd you do last night?
Nothing.
Yeah.
So we had this plan to like get some food and then watch a horror movie.
Yeah.
And then it turned into going out to this like restaurant because they wanted to go to a restaurant
instead.
Cool. And then we came back and everyone was sleepy. So.
Dang, that was it.
So I was on my own.
Wow.
Well, I know. It looks like you had a great time though.
It was pretty good. It was a little. No, it was good.
Did it go by quick? You only had 2 hours.
Yes, dude, it was 2 hours.
Which is stupid to me.
Every year it feels like it's shorter, and I don't know if I'm just remembering incorrectly, but it was 5 to 7 in my town this year. So it said sundown was at like 5:45 or whatever, but it didn't go down until like 6.
Yeah.
Maybe a little after 6.
So
like
only
it wasn't
an hour
dark.
of darkness.
Yeah, and that's definitely the most fun. But we did our neighborhood, and then there's a neighborhood down the street that we drive to, and it was like I sent you some of the videos.
Yeah,
a couple people had legit like haunts set up in their front yard.
Oh my god, the last video you sent me was better than all of the haunts we did at Canopy.
Dude, it's insane. I can't believe how much they do. And we didn't even get to trick or treat at that house because the night was over. So that video I sent you, literally, I brought everyone home and then I drove to that house.
Oh my god,
I wanted to see it. And they were like, oh, we're tired.
They put in a ton of effort.
Yeah. Yeah, so awesome. So yeah, we had a good time, and then we got home, we put on the Curse of Bridge Hollow, and then literally me, Jazz and Simi all fell asleep, and Rach was the only one awake.
Oh my god.
I was like, all right, I guess we're going to bed.
Did the kids do good in candy?
They did pretty well. Simi didn't get as much as usual, and she was pretty bummed about it. This was the first year I said before that she wanted to go half with her friends.
Right.
So
did they do a lot of time talking? And
no, like her friends did some, and we did a different neighborhood before she met up with her friends. So halfway through the night, we brought her to her friends, and they had already done a bunch, and so she didn't go to some of the biggest houses because they had already hit them. Our neighborhood wasn't as like hyped up as their neighborhood was, so it was just like she got caught in between, but she had fun with her friends, and
good
costumes were dope. And that second neighborhood we went to, my favorite thing is when the streets are just riddled with people.
Yeah,
and that's what was going on. There's kids screaming,
so many
and
costumes, oh my god,
it's awesome.
Yeah,
so cool. So yeah, it was
the
pretty fun
spirit
night.
of Halloween was high.
Yeah, it was and yeah, it was a good time.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's November.
I know. I feel like my switch has been turned and I'm ready for Christmas.
Today was my last day of like intentionally watching spooky movies.
Yeah.
Because we watched, I watched Barbarian this morning, and then we watched, did we watch something else? Maybe that was it today.
Buffy? Did you finish Buffy yet?
Finished Buffy the other day. Oh, and I wanted to say thank you to everyone who recommended things for our October special.
Yes.
If you didn't happen to listen to it, it is streaming anywhere you find podcasts. Thank you guys. That was a really fun special. We also have leftovers on our list to watch for future episodes. So I hope you guys had fun.
Yeah.
And congrats to Jesse's Floating Castle, who won our spooky giveaway for the special.
Like the special bean she is.
Yeah, very special. Very special. We have a lot to discuss.
We're gonna tackle so much.
Yeah. Are you ready to like go into the things?
I think so, right? We did all of our stuff, our maintenance, our words.
Yes.
Talked about Halloween.
Let me tell you guys right now, you can go to twitch.tv/Collection Revolution to catch Tim's full-time schedule and also our streaming schedule. We always stream the podcast whenever we're able to, which is most weeks. So we are streaming live right now. We got people hanging out in the chat. We stop between segments to hang out with you guys
Snoop.
live. So if you're not following Tim, Collection Revolution on Twitch, and you can find... do you list when we're streaming on your schedule usually?
Yeah, yep.
Groovy.
Yep, I just recently started to do a full picture, and I always put whatever game I'm playing, and then the Keep Up podcast right under that.
That's cool.
So,
Tim's a professional.
hey, I try.
I am excited to get going, so let's go into TV.
TV Puppet Pals. TV Puppet Pals. Lots of fun for guys and gals.
I don't know what that means, dude. That's crazy.
It's TV Puppet Pals.
The only thing in the list is Fall of the House of Usher.
Which I haven't seen yet.
So are you cool with me just running through that?
Yeah, just do it.
Cool.
Yeah, because bulletin board, that doesn't matter.
You don't want to do that?
Well, we skipped it already.
Oh, shoot.
It's not a big deal. I can talk about that whenever.
Do you want to do it at the beginning of TV? Because I didn't make a transition yet anyways.
No, we'll do it another time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make the transition this week.
It's not imperative.
Not time sensitive?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh, God. Yeah, half of these I don't even remember.
So I was going to say, actually, I'll say at the beginning of TV. Oh, what did we miss? We got anything in here?
Snoop says, congrats, Jesse. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And then it's a lot of Nightbot.
That is, I know.
I wonder how the Bluey pumpkin's holding out.
How's
your
dead.
Bluey pumpkin?
It's
Dude,
dead.
our pumpkins all died.
They rotted so fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, Bluey, I threw it off the deck the other day.
You smashed it?
Yep.
Proud of you.
They all died.
All dead.
All dead. Not intentionally, it was just rotting at the core.
Dude, aren't we all rotting at the core?
We are. Okay, we're in TV.
Yeah.
I'm good to go. Smashing Pumpkins.
Excuse me, rude.
Nice.
What's your favorite grunge band?
Blink 182.
Anyways. I said it to Tim before, but I want everyone listening to know, as we're going through this list, the goal is completion. And sometimes, in order to complete a list, you gotta just cross stuff off.
You gotta make sacrifices.
Yeah, not because you're cheating the list, but you realize, you know what? Maybe I don't have to clean the dishes today.
Yeah.
Maybe they can go another week.
Right, and I can do something more productive.
Exactly. So some of these are dishes on this list.
That we're just wiping away.
But Tim will know, because the majority of this list is...
It's so much me.
It's so much you, dude.
Yeah.
That's partially just because... Well, I don't know. It's probably partially because of a lot of different things.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
we're just talking about things. When we watch or consume something at the same time, that usually takes priority. Because we can both talk about it. Anywho.
You know what we didn't watch together?
What?
The Fall of the House of Usher.
Oh, I know. I'm so behind.
So this was Mike Flanagan's newest show. They've been annual at this point. We've said it ad nauseum, but in case anyone's unfamiliar, this is the writer-director behind The Haunting of Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, Midnight Club, and this year, The Fall of the House of Usher.
Wow.
Also, many films. Hush.
Yes.
Which I love Hush so much. Dr. Sleep.
Yep. Oculus.
That was the other one. I haven't seen either of the latter two.
Get to it.
Yeah, okay. I have seen all of the shows now. Have you seen them all?
I have seen...
You finished Midnight Mass?
Yep.
Bly Manor?
Bly Manor, yep.
Yep. And not Midnight Club yet. You're going to love that one.
I hope so.
I really think you are. It's great.
I guarantee it.
The story... the storytelling in that is so incredible, and that's my first note about The Fall of the House of Usher. This is based on the literary works of Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe is more
And
like it.
wow,
Oh!
That's crazy.
Especially because he's dead.
Wow!
Oh!
Roasting.
More like Edgar Allan. No, Tim.
Roasting.
Bad. Anyways.
Oh, you're disciplining yourself.
Yeah.
For roasting those
dead.
who've moved on.
Yes.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
That's crazy.
As long as he's not blind.
Was he?
No.
You're always insulting them.
I'm not. Anyways, Fall of the House of Usher, previously known as Ushmi.
No, this was always the name.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there was probably a working title, but we've
Yeah.
never known it as anything else.
No.
So whatever you just said is definitely.
So this is about the rapper Usher,
This is.
hip hop artist.
You did watch it.
I know.
It is so good.
Mhm.
I know that's like probably the worst way to start an actual review.
This
but
movie good.
I just want to say, if a movie good. I just want to say, if you are a fan of Mike Flanagan, you're going to enjoy this. My first note about this is that his storytelling is really the star of these shows. It's starting, and maybe it always has been, but when I was watching this, I was like, this is starting to be so recognizable to me, the way that he tells stories and the way he weaves different storylines together.
Well, it's because I feel like it's the characters that carry it so much.
100%, yeah.
The moments where, and you know, it hurt me in Midnight Mass, but most other times where the characters are just talking and having a conversation for like 10 minutes, it's very rare to see that in movies. Like, it's usually a significant scene when that happens. And granted, it's a show, so you get more time to be able to do stuff like that. But yeah, I just feel like the characters really push it because there's so much time spent on them talking.
Totally.
And it's not about the special effects or the crazy things that happen. It's just the conversations. And I'm like, give me more, tasty.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that being what you like about his storytelling, I think you're going to love this because it is very much, there are so many, when I say storylines, I guess I really mean character arcs, the way those are interwoven. And this show has such strong sort of divisive character types. And those storylines interacting with one another are so interesting to look at. It focuses around this family who are deep within the corrupt pharmaceuticals industry, and so it's a father and all of his kids, and they're all rich with familial wealth and doing various endeavors. And like of their own, they've all kind of found their own branch in the world to make a lot of money off of, and they're all leading very different lives and very, very broken family emotionally. And all of a sudden, people start dying. And what you were just talking about, where the conversations are really the thing that you kind of hone in on. I have always loved that stuff too. I think mostly because if you're going to create a scene like that, it has to be good enough. Like, and when you are really pulled into something like that and you're not like, what are they talking about? Like, the only thing I can think of, and I love shows like this too, but what do you call them? Like Law and Order type shows. What's the name for those?
Like crime.
I almost said true crime. But
court drama.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. It's all talking.
Yes.
And it just goes on, and it's a different kind of engagement because you're trying to follow what they're trying to figure out. It's more of like a mystery. Whereas the conversations that take place in this show, and I think other type stuff that we're kind of referencing, you're trying to discover what you can about the character based on the way that they're talking to each other. And that is just, I think it's a fun thing to do when it's done right. And these characters are so engaging and so like I said, just divisive. Like some of them you just really, you're like, God, that's an awful person. And some you kind of feel for in certain moments and try to understand where they're coming from. And just every character is really, really strong. This show is very much a drama over a horror, I would say.
I would argue that was some of them too, like Bly Manor.
Bly Manor
felt more drama than horror.
Yeah, I would say it's similar, but like you were saying, it becomes about the relationships and the characters more than crazy effects and things like that. But when effects come into play, when there are horror moments, it's very satisfying.
Good.
It's very well done, very creative. And there are even episodes where you wonder, like, how is anything in this going to be scary? And then something will happen and you're like, oh, this feels dreadful.
Yeah,
like,
it's I don't feel comfortable
we got
anymore.
there. Yeah. And there's this overarching mystery on top of just trying to figure out like, or just really explore the characters throughout the entire show. There's this overarching mystery that I found very, very engaging. And there are, you could say like multiple, at least like 3 full payoffs at the end of the show.
Oh, wow.
Some of, at least one of which I didn't really see coming. One I completely forgot was even a story thread from early on. And if you're not used to the Keep Up podcast, I apologize for the vagary, but also we don't do spoilers. So
yeah,
I'm trying to give you the important bits and how I felt about it. And the storytelling, like I said, is just, it's starting to feel like, oh, I get why I love Mike Flanagan's stuff so much. And it really has his stamp on it. And you mentioned it being a TV show, so we get more. This really does take on one character per episode.
Okay. So like Hill House.
Where each one was exactly. I think that's why it felt so familiar. Because Bly Manor did it a little bit too.
Yeah,
not as much.
To a degree, but yeah, there were definitely solo episodes where it was like all about that character, but not how Hill House did it.
I forgot about that's how Hill House did it. It's been so many years now.
Yeah. Man, I still love that show. That's still top of the list, I think.
You've only watched it once?
Yeah.
Me too. I'd like to rewatch it.
Yeah. It's tough with shows because they're just long.
I know. Yeah. So this one does a similar thing where there's definitely a focus on each character, and you get a lot of interactions from the other characters in each episode.
Yep.
So it's not quite as isolated as Haunting of Hill House, if I remember correctly, but it is definitely that formula, and you get it from the first episode. You're like, okay, I see how they're gonna kind of unravel this whole thing.
Yeah. So. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. Go
okay. So where does the Edgar Allan Poe influence come in? Is it like the characters are based off the stories, or are there stories that follow what he wrote? Like, how does it work?
From what I've read, there are things like a raven that's involved, and I believe the shortest answer is I'm not sure.
Okay.
But from what I've read, there are a lot of nods and sort of Easter egg type moments, names that are used in scenarios.
So like if you know the stories, it's more of a referential as opposed to actually adapting the stories.
Right. I'm almost positive, and anyone who's listening or watching, please correct me if you've seen it, but I'm almost positive it's not a direct adaptation of anything. I think it is inspired by.
The episode titles follow different stories.
Yeah.
So because I've looked at it and I'm familiar with some of them, but so I can confirm or deny when I watch if there's anything like that. But.
There's one concept being the Raven that I believe is like the main influence or inspiration, but I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with Edgar Allan Poe's stuff to say, but just from reading some stuff online, I've seen people say that like if you are familiar with his works, you're the one who like really gets the most payoff from the show. And I don't know, I'm not, I guess.
That's okay. Because you can still, the greatest thing about your perspective is you're someone who is not familiar with Edgar Allan Poe.
Sure.
So you can still really enjoy the show without having to need those connections.
That's true. Yeah, I can confirm that very much. 100% a keeper, no question about it. If you are not a fan of Mike Flanagan's stuff, I feel like typically what I've heard is people loved Haunting of Hill House, but then the stuff afterwards wasn't like scary enough for them.
Yeah, I think, and I do agree on that the horror aspect has fallen off a bit. Which that's what I really liked about Hill House, on top of everything else, of course. So that definitely hurt me a little bit in regards as just, how I enjoy the stuff. But Midnight Mass was still fine for me. Like, I don't remember what I gave it, but...
Not high enough.
Not high enough. Yeah, I think it's like a 6 or 7 or something like that. That's where I stand right now. But Bly Manor, I did really enjoy.
Yeah, Bly Manor's great, and Midnight Club has more. I feel like it's back to more horror in that one, and then this one is definitely more drama leaning, but it's definitely still got horror elements.
Yeah,
but nothing has been as scary as Haunting of Hill House. So I would say if you haven't been a fan of that stuff, it's still great. I still think when people don't like those, it's because Haunting of Hill House set a certain precedent, and it's not like a quality thing, because I think the quality of them all has still been so good.
They're always amazing.
But I would highly recommend it. You have plans to watch it?
Yeah, definitely.
When?
I gotta finish Goosebumps. Well, I gotta catch up.
What episode are you on?
I just watched the Cuckoo Clock of Doom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it is pretty good. that the one that ends like? No, maybe the one before that.
With the goop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What an ending.
That was a crazy ending.
What an ending.
It scared me. I got jump scared from it. I was like, whoa.
Dude, the kids went, huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it's great. That's been fun.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying that. You got to let me know when you get to the Worms episode.
Okay. I think that's next,
Is it?
I want to say.
I can't wait till you watch that episode. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we can talk about it quickly.
Sure.
It's not part of the list or anything, but yeah, I like what they're doing with the stories. So the Haunted Mask was episode 2.
Yeah.
And it was definitely weird because I think you pointed it out there. The character who wears the mask like walks through the party like, oh, I'm the best, but literally nothing changed.
Didn't it feel like a dream? Or like a daydream kind of thing?
Yeah. They were like, oh, I'm so cool. And then it like actually happened.
That was real.
And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very awkward because I was really expecting her to snap out of it and it just being something she was envisioning because the mask is nothing.
It's nothing
crazy,
especially compared to some of the costumes they have there. But
yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. I'm glad you saw that moment.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a couple moments that to me was a little like, it's a little cringy, pushing a little hard, but the rest of the show is enjoyable enough for me, and I'm enough of a Goosebumps fan to want to keep watching.
Right, because you know the stories, and that's the fun part is the references.
Yes, like how are they going to do this?
Right,
yeah,
right.
Super cool.
But yeah, not much else. Just that I've been really enjoying it. I like how the focal point is like the Halloween party, and we keep going back to it.
I like that too.
And it's like, oh, this night was a big night for a lot of things to happen. So.
Yes.
And connecting factors with like how people are acting and why they're acting that way and the mystery. It's coming along pretty nicely.
It is, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. It's still not done. We have to wait till November. 2 weeks from now, I think, is the last episode.
It's got to be. There's one. Is it 10 episodes?
10 episodes.
Yeah, so there will be one this Friday, or the day this podcast comes out, we'll be at episode 8.
Okay.
So then 2 more weeks.
Yeah. Thanksgiving.
Yeah. What a
Friday.
Thanksgiving treat. Oh, maybe that's why they planned it that way.
I don't know.
And it ended on Black Friday.
Right.
Very exciting.
But did you watch anything else on TV? On the list? You can only talk about things on the list.
Did not. I don't think I have anything. No, nothing. Nothing new to talk about in television.
Yeah, I haven't watched much at all. So it's good we're doing this.
It is, dude. One thing I'll say about Midnight Mass 2.
Yeah, Midnight Mass.
Nope.
House of Usher.
Yeah, I wasn't even close. The Fall of Usher. The Fall of the House of Usher.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
It's a tough name.
It's a tough title. The effects that are in it. There's one. I mean, all of the spoiler alert. There are deaths.
No.
Some of the makeup and effects and scenarios in this are so brutal. One in particular that happens really early on. I watched it like 3 times just because I was like, how did they even do this?
I love that.
And it's like, yeah. So if you're an effects person, what are the kills going to be like person?
They got good ones.
That might be episode 1. It's 1 or 2.
Really?
But yeah, it's early on, and that's the one I kept going back to. And then there's something great in the final episode too. But that stuff is really good. Like I said, when it's scary, when it's brutal, it does its job.
I have so much gas.
Yeah, I've learned that over the years.
Oh God!
All right, Tim needs a break. We're going to movies.
My heart. Oh, I feel it all.
Be all right.
I feel so much gas.
Do you get like chest pains when it's like that?
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling right now.
I
it's
hate
like
that feeling.
I'm having heart failure. Take that, Mr. Dead Guy who can't fight back, Snoop.
Yeah, dude. Tim's over here
just call Edgar and ask him about his work. 'Cause I'm sure he's willing to discuss it.
Maybe we get him on the podcast.
Yeah, I'll give him a call.
Yeah.
Midnight Massness.
What's that mean?
We have this running joke where midnight, if you're like playing games with friends or whatever, and you do Midnight Madness.
Yeah.
That's when you start. Everything's just nonsensical.
Oh yeah, I know Midnight Madness. Of course.
So that's the joke. He's continuing Midnight Madness.
I like that.
But he said Massness. It was great.
I got you.
So we're going into movies.
Do you want me to hit you with what it says, and then are you gonna look at it?
Yeah.
Right.
What? Yeah.
I got one thing in there.
Okay.
Wait, let me see. Did I have another one?
Ushka lot of booty.
What is that?
Ushka lot of booty. I don't know. What's ushka?
I don't know. It's just a thing I say.
Yo, babushka. Bushka ushka. Ushka lot of booty.
I definitely shouldn't add something to the list, but I'm going to.
I know. Video games will be fun. That's
gonna be the one.
That one's killing us.
I have 2 things to talk about.
God, Street Fighter 6 has been in there for like 8 months.
Boom, we're in movies.
Oh, boom, just like that.
Tim, first thing on here, Wes Anderson Roald Dahl short film collection.
Wes Anderson Roald Dahl short film.
What's that? I think I've seen every movie Wes Anderson's done except for one. I'm unfamiliar with this collection.
So it just recently came out, like a month ago at this point, maybe 2. And so I don't know what. You know what it was? Netflix has this new category now where they show you. Maybe it's been there for a while, but I just noticed it. Like I said, a month ago, where it shows new releases and when they're coming out.
Yes.
So it's just like notify me when this and this, all this is coming out.
I just said yes so many times.
Yeah. Yes. Correct. Yes. So one caught my eye: The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, which was starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Ralph Fiennes, the guy that's in all of Wes Anderson's stuff.
I don't know how to say it either.
Me neither. Okay. So if we don't know, but and it's got Dev Patel and Ben Kingsley.
Nice.
And they are the connecting factors through all these short stories because it's just them again and again, all acting as different characters in these stories. Because there's 4.
It's like what Mike Flanagan does.
Yeah, exactly. So they're reusing the actors. Yeah. They're like, let's do all this. And you can tell immediately watching the first one to the next one because sets are reused. Like it's like they seriously filmed it in a weekend and did a bunch of short stories.
Yeah.
But everything you expect from Wes Anderson. They're quirky, they're weird, they're talking to the camera, there's narration, there's just all these usual Wes Anderson things that you notice that make him just as good as anything else.
Another director whose voice is like just unmistakable.
Yes.
In everything that he does.
If you've never seen his movies before, you would know it's a Wes Anderson film.
Yeah, for real.
And that's how much it speaks to us.
Yeah.
But all these short stories were fun. The first one, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, is about a man who can see when he's blindfolded. And it's the story of this man, of how he learned how to see. And just in general, he can see with his eyes closed,
That's
basically.
Cool.
So, again, quirky little story. There's one called The Swan, which is about a boy who is being bullied by bullies, and he has to keep doing progressively worse things, and how he may or may not overcome the bullies. The rat Catcher, which is kind of like a spooky tale of this rat-looking man who has to go and kill some rats. Then there's Poison, which is about a man who's laying in bed who has a deadly poisonous snake on top of him, and one of his buddies comes in to see, and they have to figure out how to get the snake off of him. So all the stories are really cool and stuff that I imagine would be fun to read, but are really visually done well.
Yeah, because all based on Roald Dahl stuff.
Yes, all of it. They tell you at the end of each short film where the collected work came from.
Oh, cool.
Some were from books that weren't published. Some were from the short stories that he wrote back in the day or whatever. And yeah, they were all just enjoyable, quirky, short.
Yeah.
I think the longest one.
They're on Netflix.
Netflix, yeah. Longest one was Henry Sugar, 37 minutes. The rest were between 15 and 17 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you could watch it in a night and, just get them all out of the way if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But super good. Super good. They're a keeper for sure. All 4 of them. My favorite of the bunch, I think, was probably The Swan.
Mm-hmm. We love a good coming of age story.
Yeah. And fighting bullies.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, are those the same? Those are different. Sometimes they're the same.
Right.
There's usually a bully in a coming of age story.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Right.
Yeah,
that's how one comes of age, is being
through
bullied.
A bully.
Yeah.
Is that the only way?
No, I mean there's also like skipping rocks and going for like a long walk.
Is it when you skip a rock like 5 times?
Yeah, once it hits 5, it's like, oh.
What if you never do that?
Well, you haven't come of age yet.
Then I guess I'm still a baby.
Yeah,
Speaking of babies.
You're an old baby.
This has been on the list for a long time.
What is it?
The end of DVDs from Netflix.
It's over?
It's over.
But that was the beginning of Netflix, Timothy.
I know, and they said goodbye.
Wow.
Now, the only thing I'm going to talk about in this, because we all know at this point, DVDs they don't do it anymore. DVDs, Blu-rays, all that stuff.
Yeah.
People just aren't collecting physical media as much because Netflix killed it.
Yeah, murderers.
But as a final, thank you to customers, when the end date came, every single person who had Blu-rays or DVDs or whatever got to keep them.
No way.
Flat out across the board, everybody got to keep them. Now, unfortunately, you don't get a case.
Yeah.
You just have the discs. But pretty funny that they were just like, that's how valueless they treat those.
That's very true, because they had a lot out in people's hands at that moment. Yeah. It's not like it was 8 people.
Yep.
And 100%, it's cool that they were like, just keep them.
Yeah.
That was like them just.
Yep, saying
like,
we're all
the
done.
Dust off their hands, like,
because it probably would have been more expensive to have everything shipped back, to have people sort them. Like, God, I hope they didn't just trash all the discs.
Ooh.
I know. Well, that happens. I know there's like, wow, there was a pop, pops, like the figures.
Oh yeah.
There was a huge like liquidation of them because the figures weren't moving. So instead of them being sold, they just burned them or trashed them or however they got, because it was cheaper to get rid of them that way than it was to like donate or whatever.
Dude, if they're gonna do that, I want to at least have like a public invite to the execution. I want to be at the bonfire
and watch everything get destroyed.
Yeah, like the fire was huge. It probably wasn't a real fire. But someone had fun destroying them though.
Oh, I bet. I mean, the Netflix, like all the discs and everything, Pops too. But assuming that's what Netflix did, I hope they like donated it to hospitals so they have movies to show. Like
that's honestly. That's likely. A donation to maybe even libraries or something.
Yeah,
like
just a place that needs movies for people to watch. So, but yeah, it was pretty cool that they did that.
When did it end?
It was like 2 months, 3 months ago.
And did you have any discs?
I did not. No, I haven't rented from Netflix in a long time.
Yeah, me neither.
Because that was a separate plan. It was cheap, I think.
Actually, I never did.
I have. Oh, my stomach went. Boo.
I know you have. Yeah, I heard that. That was weird.
Yeah. Gamefly's still around though, and I love that.
Gamefly, yeah. Mm-hmm. They probably won't go out.
I hope not.
I mean, I don't know. Game Pass is getting crazy.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt them a lot. Yeah. Even though, what's funny? Anytime I bring up Gamefly, everyone's like, "That's still around."
Yeah, I am kind of surprised, but I'm mostly not now because I know you use it.
Right. And I haven't used it in a while, so I had it up until like March, and then canceled it because. I played pretty much everything I wanted to play.
Yeah.
There were other things, but I was like, I can wait a while.
Dude, you should get some games in case they go under and tell everyone to keep them.
Right?
Just saying.
Just hold on to them forever.
You gotta learn.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Netflix.
Goodbye.
It's a sleeper.
Netflix physical DVDs and Blu-rays. A sleeper.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
End of an era.
And it's true. Not that anybody was using it for a while, but
yeah, that's true. I wonder how much it was costing them to like keep it a service.
Yeah, because eventually at some point they probably see that it's not giving them any money.
Yeah,
but
totally.
I don't know. I don't know at what point that happens.
Tim, neither of us do.
I guess people just aren't doing it anymore.
We don't work for Netflix.
Do you want to pick one of your 2 things you added?
What do we got next, dude? Okay, I haven't watched this yet. Tell me about Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Oh, I see. I thought you were going to talk about something you put.
No, everything I put on there, I've watched.
Gotcha.
I just pick stuff, and I'm like, Tim, I haven't watched this yet. Tell me about it. No, I love Guillermo del Toro.
Yes.
Seeing him doing a take on this is also an interesting thing. Just this thought went through my head. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of discussion for many, many years. Maybe this is always a discussion about how there's like no new ideas out there.
Right.
However, I'm not mad that The Fall of the House of Usher was based on Edgar Allan Poe's works. Mm-hmm. Great. I feel like Mike Flanagan did him justice.
Yep.
However, it was based on it. I'm not mad that Wes Anderson did Roald Dahl stuff.
Right.
In fact, I think that pairing makes a lot of sense.
It really does.
Roald Dahl's sensibilities meets Wes Anderson's. I think that makes a lot of sense. Guillermo del Toro doing a take on Pinocchio.
It truly could have been something horrific.
Yeah.
It's because that's what del Toro does. Yeah. Monsters, creatures, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Instead, what we got was something that was still haunting, but hauntingly beautiful.
I love that.
Because Pinocchio, it was a wild trip. I don't even know how to explain what it was.
Yeah.
So take the Pinocchio story that you know from Disney, that you just know of Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Throw it in the trash.
Gone.
Garbage. Yeah. Trash. Because this adaptation, it hits you in the guts right at the beginning. Hits you in the guts.
Really?
It's sad. It's emotional. It's impactful. And it deals with a ton of mature elements that I really never expected from like World War II and the influence it has on like Italy and Poland and Germany and being in there, the impact of religion and how it affects small villages while the war is going on.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Death, lots of what's the word? Existential conversations.
You're so Italian right now.
I'm so Italian.
Just trying to just remember.
I feel it. I felt it in my bones.
So funny.
Yeah, this just goes to places that I had no intentions of feeling while watching this movie, and it gripped me on the heart, and I was just, whew.
Right away.
Right away for sure, but as the film goes on,
it just keeps
the whole thing, it's just a roller coaster of pain.
Dude, when Del Toro wants to, and this is what I love about him, is he can really take you there when he wants to, but it's not always. Like he did, I loved his Hellboy movies.
Right.
And there were emotions and really, really important character moments throughout those movies, but that movie didn't need to be like, it didn't need to feel tragic, and it didn't need to feel as heavy.
Yeah.
But then you watch something like Pan's Labyrinth,
which that same thing, everyone assumes that's just a crazy horror movie.
Yeah.
But it is it's tragedy. It's so sad.
It's like a dark fantasy with really, really heavy dramatic elements. Like it reminds me, like, he didn't do this movie, but I've always thought Jojo Rabbit has a similar attitude about it.
Yeah. Yep.
There's,
well, because it almost is like whimsical, but it's Germany, World War II,
right?
Like, and you're like, oh goodness gracious,
right? Yeah, and so it's like, Del Toro doesn't deal too much in the comedic, but whereas Jojo Rabbit that movie's an anomaly. I don't even know how it exists, but that's what I'm thinking of as Pan's Labyrinth while you're describing this. It's like beautiful and awe-inspiring, and then just heartbreaking.
Yes,
and I'm glad to hear that, because that's what I want from Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, it does definitely have its whimsical.
It must. It's Pinocchio.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And that's Pinocchio. He's naive. He does things. He gets in trouble. He's a trickster. Like, he'll do all the things that you know of Pinocchio.
Yeah.
And it will touch upon elements that from the story, but very lightly. It does its own thing for sure. But yeah, it's beautifully crafted, and not even to mention all the I don't want to call it claymation, but the stop motion animation is just ridiculous.
Enough so that didn't they put out like a mini doc about it?
Yeah, I watched the documentary too, cool? And it's crazy. It was insane. Years and years in the making. They had to make so many different scales of Pinocchio and all the characters to show off different scenes. So there's one scene in particular where Del Toro is showing off the different sizes of Pinocchio, and he goes literally as small as, like, I can't even describe it, but it's like
a Polly Pocket.
Yeah, even smaller than that, like a dust bunny, like a tiny little, it's the tiniest. Like, the camera could even focus on it with how small it went. So I guess they had to show it. I forgot what it was for specifically, but they needed it for. I forgot.
Probably perspective stuff.
That's all it was. It's like they needed him to look smaller compared to other characters and stuff like that, but it was crazy. And they have one that's like bigger than my bedroom, like his head, like Pinocchio's head. So they did they went above and beyond.
What's so nuts about all that is when that movie came out, it just like came out.
Yes.
Like, I was just like, where did that come from?
Right.
I had no idea it was happening. Like, maybe I'd seen a trailer or like a poster, but I
remember a little bit of build up for it, because there was, I think, another Pinocchio movie coming out.
That's what I was confused about, because the live action Disney one, I think, was coming out or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I was like confused enough that I was like, wait, did Del Toro do the Disney one?
Right.
But it was a completely different movie.
Different thing.
So I thought that was really strange, but definitely more excited about his than the Disney live action.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't know if there's a right time to recommend it, but I feel like during winter is good. Not necessarily a Christmas movie, but a cozy movie.
Sure.
Yeah. But it's not happy.
Cozy, but not happy. Yeah.
It's pain.
All
right. But honestly, it was like one of my favorites of Del Toro's. Wow. One of my favorite of these, like, fairy tale type stories.
Yeah.
It's just it's crazy. It's crazy.
Awesome.
And it sticks with you. It'll stick with you for a long time after viewing it. So
cool.
Super Keeper. I don't know if we can do a Super Keeper, but
dude, it can be a Super Keeper. I don't see why not. I think I forgot what I was gonna say.
Pinocchio.
Oh, so it seems like the formula is, if you're good enough at your craft,
yes,
then you can be referential and you can be derivative of other material. Like, you can use other material and redo it or something, and people aren't mad about it. Like, nobody's like, oh man, like, I wish Nolan wasn't adapting Batman. I wish Nolan wasn't doing a Batman story. I wish, and that's not even that's different, because it's not a specific story.
Right.
But it's like, there are certain directors or certain whatever, musicians, writers, whoever it is, that if you found out, like, I've even said, I would love to see Raimi's version of X.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So no one's mad if you're like good enough, but if it's just some random like big studio redoing a movie, then people are like, why do we need another one?
Right. We don't need, think of something new, think of something original.
Yeah.
But then all the original stuff that comes out, you don't even hear about it. Or you don't see it. It gets buried.
Not as much. Yeah.
It's a shame. Some new things will make it out, but.
Dude, have you seen They Follow?
I still haven't seen It Follows.
Dude, they just announced that next year They Follow is coming out.
Which is crazy. I don't know. Again, I don't know the story of the first one, so I didn't know if there would be a sequel.
Well, the crazy thing is it's been 10 years.
That's a long time.
I know. Which means when we shot that video for YouTube that we did
10 years ago?
I think so.
Give or take, right? It must have been a little bit after it came out because we were waiting for the vinyl. That's what it was.
Much, though. Yeah, we shot it about
the year's on YouTube, so we just got to find it.
I know, we could
check. There's a new Planet of the Apes movie coming out based off the previous ones with Caesar and everything.
What?
Yeah. Which the last one was definitely the end, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. So there was a teaser today, and then I think tomorrow they're doing the...
that is wild.
The full trailer, yeah.
Holy bananas. Barry said you're a planet of an ape.
I like to be the planet of an ape.
I watched a documentary on Hulu the other day.
Yes.
I've been waiting for this documentary for, I don't know, a month and a half or something like that. I mean, I've been waiting for it since I heard about the thing that the documentary is about, which is McKamey Manor.
Yes.
Are you familiar with McKamey Manor?
I am now because I've heard you talk about this.
Yeah.
And I am so interested in watching this.
So I'm pretty sure I've talked about it on the podcast, but I'm not 100% positive. If you're unfamiliar, McKamey Manor is what's known as the most extreme term haunted house. Term used very loosely. A lot of people just call it a torture chamber because essentially Russ McKamey, and there's so much information about this online, so many podcasts about it. But the reason I really wanted a documentary about it is a lot of things have been kept hush-hush about people's experience in it in a way. The weirdest thing about this, there's a few different things. The key points are, it was started by one, well, it wasn't just him, but Russ McKamey is the owner of the haunt. Started as a normal haunt, like in his house.
Of course.
And then
that's where they all start.
It got a little bit more intense. When it started, it was like kids doing the scaring. And then it got to a point where he got rid of the kids because it was getting too intense.
He killed them?
Yeah, they're all dead.
Oh my God.
No, he stopped having kids doing the acting because
he stopped having children?
He's not fertile anymore. So he didn't allow kids to act in his haunt anymore.
All right, I can't do anything.
All right, good. We've defeated the first tier boss. And it just kept getting more and more intense to the point where, and the documentary covers this I'll go with extensively.
Okay.
He had a partner that like couldn't even do it anymore. So again, the key points here, again, I'm saying the key points, but I haven't gotten to them yet because I'm rambling.
Right. But again, in your head.
But again, we're back to this point where the key points are.
I do that all
Russ
the time.
McKamey started it. As it stands, it does not cost anything to do the quote-unquote haunt.
So I'm in. Easy. I like free.
He expects a bag of dog food or 2 cans of dog food.
I love that.
Everyone
Donations.
loves dogs, right?
Yeah, helping out.
There's a guest list or a waiting list that is said to be about 20,000 people long.
That's a lot, but I can wait for a good time.
I could have that number wrong, but I'm pretty sure I don't. And at least that's the claimed number.
Yep.
And there's no end to the haunt, really.
Oh.
Before you go in, you have to sign a 40-page waiver.
That's a lot of pages.
Which covers such things as emotional trauma, broken bones, shaved head, contusions, and even death. All in the waiver.
You could die at this?
That they're not held responsible for what happens once you're in there. There is a safe word. They do not abide by it. Jesus. You could say the safe word and there's no guarantee they're going to let you out because you've signed the waiver. So this has existed for years and years. People have tried to get it shut down. But what's crazy is it's all very out in the open. Every single person who's gone through the house, Russ has filmed start to finish, and he posts them on YouTube. You can watch the entirety of each walkthrough.
You can go to YouTube.com.
Yeah, you can search McKamey Manor. I think he calls them McKamey Manor Films or something, or if you go to the website, they're called Films.
I'm surprised YouTube doesn't like take them down for like realistic violence.
That's true. I don't know if anything's changed with that. Historically, they've been on YouTube, but you might have to watch them on the website now. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So this documentary covers all of the history of McKamey Manor, interviews 3 people who have actually gone through it. And what's really been hush-hush over the years is it was hard to find someone like online describing their experience in full. And this documentary covers a little bit why that is. And it just seems crazy that this actually exists. And it's just so dark and twisted.
Yeah, like it's the idea of a haunt being like a legit real horror movie that you get to take part in is interesting. And like someone who likes horror, I'm like, that could be kind of fun. But the fact that your bones will be broken, they'll torture you, like they'll do these extreme things is crazy that anybody signs up for it.
Right, it is.
But it's one of those things where people are totally like, I could do this. Like they're so stubborn, or they're like, oh, they can't be that bad.
Sure.
And then they go and do it, and they're like, oh, I'm dead.
And so many people say afterwards, they're like, do not come to this. And like they've posted that, but there are still people who want to do it. And what I really liked about this documentary is a couple things. One, they talked to a psychologist who describes like why some people might want to go through the most extreme possible thing they can, and how sometimes it might be healthy for someone. And they also interview a guy who I believe is the creator of this other extreme haunt that is, I mean, it's also very hands-on, very like borderline torturous in some moments, but there's a legitimate safe word and they will not ever disregard the safe word. And before they move on to the next, like they'll go through a session, and they call it a show, and they go through like a scene of the show, and they will always, the actors who are like, they're terrifying. They're like dudes with guns and like ski masks and stuff. And in this haunt, not McKamey Manor, they'll get in your ear and they'll be like, do you want to continue? And they'll say, if they say yes, they're like, are you sure? And they give you the option, and then they move on. That's a crazy thing to see all in itself. And I didn't know that was going to be in the in this documentary, but it's really cool to have there for juxtaposition. So I would highly recommend it because the McKamey Manor is very much a real thing, active thing still now. And it's just really fascinating and very interesting. I will say, trigger warning for anyone who would be disturbed by this kind of thing. There's very real like violence and women being tied up and put into freezers, and like it's real footage. But what's crazy is one of the girls who they show, the 3 who they interview, they show pieces of their clips from McKamey Manor. One of the girls, I actually watched a whole YouTube video of just her in her living room talking to her friend about it, because that was the only full description of the manor that I could, and her experience that I could find. And it was so crazy seeing her on the documentary, because I was like, I saw just a home video of her.
Right, you saw the YouTube video.
Yeah. So it's...
And they don't... How do they not get in trouble? They just have like lawyers and stuff?
The waiver.
The waiver, like it just works?
Yes, but they have a lawyer talking about how that might not be fail-proof. Fail-proof?
Foolproof.
Foolproof. How that might... Wait, if something's foolproof...
I know, I've never understood it as long as I live.
How that might not actually protect them as much as they think, because there are certain things that... even in a waiver are like can't be legally.
Well, the death thing, like that's
death
insane.
And like emotional. The lawyer explains it, of course, much better than I could, but talks about how like there are certain things that even if you agree to it in advance, under certain emotional duress, you can't really make that decision. So like whether to stop or not, that kind of thing. So all of that is very interesting. Documentary is called Monster Inside. It's on Hulu.
And
Definite
Disney
keeper.
Plus?
I don't know.
I think it shouldn't be.
That would be weird.
Yeah, but they share things sometimes.
It's very strange. I've seen some things pop up on Disney that I'm like, oh, really? But yeah, highly recommend. It's definitely a keeper. It's one of those things that's like, how is this out there? And I'm really hoping that the documentary does something for people's awareness.
Yeah.
But there's still a waiting list, and people are still trying to get in there. And it talks a lot about how he has this sort of cult following that makes it hard for people to come against him. So it's just one of those scary things. It just feels like a little cult. But I would definitely say it's worth a watch if something like that intrigues you. Very, very interesting watch. I don't know if interesting could be used for the next thing.
I'm super fascinated by it.
Oh, definitely that.
Oh, but the next thing.
The next thing I want to talk about is on the special.
Yes.
Our friend Grizz. He recommended Troll 2.
Ah, classic.
Our friend Jesse texted me and was like, "Have you watched this?" And it's a documentary on YouTube called Best Worst Movie.
I still haven't seen it.
That's okay.
I know, you kept asking me. You're like, "Watch it, Tim." I'm like, "Sure."
What's crazy is Troll 2, you know, we talked about how awful the movie is. There's so many things about it that are just god-awful. This will be brief. After seeing the documentary, I, like, want people to watch that and then watch... Like, I want people to watch Troll 2 and then watch the documentary. I had no idea it has a massive, massive cult following.
Oh, for sure. I knew about it.
You did know that?
Yeah. Dude. Well, because specifically the part where the guy goes, "Oh my God," it gets made fun of again and again.
Oh my God. Dude, it's insane. Like, all the... And then when I'm watching, the documentary is actually made by... I won't go over all of Troll 2, but you guys can listen to the last episode to hear about it, or just look up Troll 2. It's touted as one of the worst movies in history.
Yeah.
And it's very, very... But it is definitely a so bad it's good movie, because as we talked about on the special, like, it's a fun watch.
Yes.
Because it's just so ridiculous.
Off the wall.
And there's a little kid in the movie, and he ends up being the one who made this documentary.
Really?
Yes.
That's cool.
The kid who was in the film makes the documentary, and it's him tracking down all the actors, many of whom were not actors, tracks down the director. They talk about how... So the director's Italian. He's made like 24 films with his wife, and he still... feels like the movie's pretty good.
Wow.
And they have all these conventions. People in LA will have like an annual viewing of it. And
just people in LA.
Just LA. Only LA.
Just like a group of people. They're like, hey.
They go to this group in LA that actually has an annual viewing, and it's like, it's just so crazy. And then they follow one of the gent who plays the father in the movie, who's actually a dentist by profession.
Really?
Yeah.
He was the one I thought did the best.
That's the funniest thing about it, dude. You gotta watch it. It's great. The first like 10 minutes of the documentary, I thought I was watching the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Because it feels like an ad for a dental practice.
Oh my God.
And so the documentary is very, very fascinating. If you watched this without watching Troll 2, I guarantee you're immediately gonna watch Troll 2. Because the lines that they think are like everybody latches onto, the director feeling like it's still a really good movie, and the actors talking about how he spoke such broken English at the time, and they were all I think American and Canadian actors. None of them spoke Italian, so a lot of times they didn't know what was supposed to be happening.
Oh my God.
Fascinating. Yeah. So it's great. Grizz, thank you for the recommendation. Jesse, thank you for the link to Best Worst Movie.
I gotta watch that.
You can watch that whole documentary on YouTube. Honestly, it would be... I'd say you could watch it without seeing the movie because they show so many scenes.
Yeah.
But the movie itself is such a trip that...
you gotta watch that.
They're both a full keeper to me. Yeah. Now it's like a dual viewing.
Solidified. You need both.
It's crazy. It's so crazy.
Well, I look forward. Maybe I'll watch it tonight.
You should. It's so fun. It's just such a wild watch, and it really shows like you never know what's gonna mean something to people. I mean, a dude with a Troll 2 tattoo, like just the conventions, wild. It's very interesting, and I think that concludes our movie section.
I think so too. That's everything we got in the notes for now.
Man, let's check out chat. We'll see you guys in video games.
Games. Whew! That was a lot of talking.
We didn't even break an hour yet.
I know, we're doing good.
Am I monopolizing?
Dude, I just talked about like 4 movies in a row.
I know, I'm so sick of you talking. Do you want anything? I need a drink.
Nope, I'm good.
You guys need anything? Tim will text me. Let me know.
Yeah, I'll let him know. Barry, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. Thank you.
Barry. Hi, Barry.
Hi.
Love you.
Thank you so much for resubscribing, my beautiful friend. How are you?
Dude, no one subscribes to me.
You got to stream.
Oh, that's the thing.
That's the thing. Waiver is 100% not going to hold up in court. I can't imagine. Especially if it says death on it. What the hell? Hope you are well, Barry. The podcast is perfect co-working vibe. Yo. I love that. It's pretty solid. I had a long but super productive day at work. You're getting through that work day, Snoop? I didn't have to work today, but I am working on a project and making a package, and I need to have them done and sent out by tomorrow. People are dumb. Barry, I'm sorry. So it was productive, but it was long because people are dumb? Or are we talking about the movie? You make that yeah, Snoop, what's in the package? I hope it's chicken. The only thing I know about the movie is during the oh my god scene, a fly lands on his face. Did a fly land on his face? I don't remember. Brett, you're not monopolizing your podcasting. No. The whole why people keep wanting to get tortured is that people are. Yeah, there's no point in my life. I love horror movies. I love scary things. I would never want to do one of those. Even the extreme ones that you have the safe words for. I don't know. No, it's not. I don't know. No, just no. Thank you. I'll take a big fat pass on that. Look at his forehead. Let me pull it up. That's funny. Oh my, hold on. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone right now. Should I pull it up on stream? I could, but then it'll mess with everything. So, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, I can't just type in oh my god. Almost there though. Oh my god. Movie. Nah. Please. I should just type in oh my god Troll 2. But Barry, I'm glad you had a productive day. Good on you. Okay, here it is. Oh, I skipped it. It was that short. Okay. I'm looking. Oh, he does. That sucks. Oh. Oh my god! There it is, right on his forehead. Right on his forehead. You think it's a mole or something. It's a freaking fly. It's a freaking fly, dude. It's not there in the prior scene. It just shows up. Really? Oh, okay. So they must have done multiple takes on it. Oh, yeah, you're right. And then it comes back and it's there. That's so funny. Goomba pointed out that the part where the guy goes, oh my god, there's a fly on his head.
No.
So there's the like normal. There's the normal scene of him doing it. Oh god, I went too far. Did you close that door? Brody's coming down. Yeah, he like scratches on the door. So.
What the heck?
Right there on his head.
Why is there a fly on his head?
I don't know. I guess it's just the environment.
Dude, I love the moment when the mom is talking to the son and she's like,
"I break everything."
She's like, "I know the funeral was hard on you. It was hard on all of us. You, your dad, your sister, and on me, his daughter."
She's so bad in that movie.
Dude, you should hear in the documentary.
Oh my god, what does she even talk about?
She's not doing great.
She's not?
She's a little,
She seemed crazy in the movie, so.
One of the actors who... She talks about how the first time she saw the movie, she thought it was great.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You gotta watch it. It's so funny.
I really... Now, especially thinking of the movie and everything, it's just like...
Yeah.
I can't.
When I was watching the documentary, I was like, of course there's a cult following.
Yeah.
And it's really funny hearing, like, the woman who played the daughter, the sister, who's, like, atrocious.
Yeah.
She's still an actor.
Really?
Yeah,
Did she get better?
Yeah. She doesn't put it on her resume anymore. It's so funny. She's, like, my favorite part of the documentary.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I was a preteen. Like, they used to show it on HBO and stuff. Like,
really?
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, I knew it was pretty big. When he recommended it, I'm like, oh, God, here we go.
Yeah.
And Robin Hood Men in Tights, when they're having the archery competition, and one guy goes, he split Robin Hood's arrow in twain. I can't read. Spits the giantest loogie as he says it.
Brutal.
Oh, that's gross.
That is gnarly.
Oh, in twain.
In twain.
Did Brody come down? What happened? You opened the door. Good enough. That's all you need.
I did.
That's all you need. I guess he ran away.
Did.
In twain. Yo, Men in Tights was great. Dude. It took me a while to enjoy it, though.
So now we got video games?
Yes.
Excuse me.
I don't know the film, but I have heard. Have you heard the Garbage Day thing? There's a scene in a movie where a guy goes, "It's Garbage Day."
Oh no!
I think he gets like shot or something, or he shoots the guy.
Isn't there a line like that from Holy Grail?
Like Monty Python?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I mean, that doesn't sound like it. But
Barry's got the loogie clip.
Oh no!
Which guy?
Oh, we'll know.
Should I show it on stream? It's too late. Oh! Bro. All right, I'm bringing it up for a quick second. You guys can't hear it, but. You think that was intentional?
That's gnarly. There's no way.
Oh my God! And they leave it in the movie.
I would. It's perfect.
It's pretty good.
It's a comedy.
You can't beat that.
Good Lord, that's gnarly.
That's disgusting.
Poor guy was holding that in the whole take.
He's like, I gotta spit. I just had to assume he just did multiple takes, and that was the best.
Yeah, that's probably it.
That was funny though.
Wow,
that's a good piece of knowledge to have, Barry.
That's pretty great.
I don't know any gross stuff in
movies. That's thick too. That's not like a little bit of spit.
You can see it on the camera. You can see it on the movie. Thick. All right, video games.
Yeah, you ready?
Oh my God, I have so much to talk about.
I'm excited to be in video games because you have so many things, and I don't even know what's going on. So you tell me if we have to pass some.
Yeah, some things I'll be quick with.
But I'm not in
because it's been so long.
We don't have to.
Oh, we will.
I just want to.
It's garbage day.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either. But okay, we were talking about it in chat. That's why you come to the live stream.
Yeah, so then you know.
Then you know what we're referring to.
What's your favorite movie quote?
Lemons. Lemons change us all.
So fortunate.
It is.
I'm gonna look up lemons change us all.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Lemons,
lemons,
lemons change us all.
Lemons change us all. Us all.
Yeah. What comes up?
Aidan Turner and Jenna Coleman to star in drama about word rationed. What? It's an article from The Guardian. It's a 2015 drama, Lemons, 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 Lemons.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, man. And then under people ask, the top one is there a Bible verse about lemons?
It's my favorite. Is there? Do you know?
It just says exactly. Wait. As has often been said, God is very good at making lemonade out of lemons. He says just about exactly that in Romans 8:28, a tremendous verse of scripture. Is that often? I don't think I've ever said.
I've never heard the God part.
Well, God is very good at making lemonade out of lemons. I guess I get the concept.
That's hysterics. Well, that's such a a twist on it. Like they're like, oh, we're just gonna throw God in front of that.
Yeah, right. That's funny.
Did lemonade exist at that time?
Yeah, I mean, they had sugar, right?
I guess.
What is the play 104? Yeah, I don't think.
When life gives you lemons, like make lemonade with Jesus.
What does the Bible say about when life gives you lemons? Why do people want this to be a verse?
Barry said he just found it on Google.
That is so funny.
Yeah, I feel like that's just like tacked on there. Right? That I don't think is that the original? That'd be wild.
This gives you a completely different verse about, and it says nothing about lemons. This is so funny. It says when life gives you lemon scripture. James 12 through 4. James 1, 2 through 4. But it doesn't actually say anything about lemons, but there's a picture next to it of like lemonade.
Yeah.
This is just the funniest layout.
It's just like an ad.
All right, so Tim's favorite movie quote is a Bible verse that doesn't mention lemons.
Right.
When life gives you lemons.
What about you? Oh, it's like a Ninja Turtle. You got an easy one.
The one I say all the time is bad timing.
Timing.
It's not like a good, it's not like a monologue or anything. No. It's just Sam Rockwell in Ninja Turtles saying bad timing.
That's it.
Probably because I say it all the time. Or wise man say, forgiveness is divine.
But never pay full price
for late
pizza.
That's a good one.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
Took me a minute.
Maybe the Casey Jones one.
Which one?
You're a claustrophobic. Hey, I never looked at another guy.
That one is great.
That one's
so
a good one, dude. So good.
I don't know many quotes.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head.
Actually, it's probably comedy quotes. There's a lot of different kinds of answers to that. It could be a really impactful moment.
Yeah.
Or it could be when Ron Burgundy says, milk was a bad choice.
Anchorman, everything is quotable in that.
Dude. Front to back, top to bottom. Street Fighter 6.
Street Fighter 6?
You've been playing this for 30 years.
For 30 years.
It's been on the list.
Yeah. This took the world by storm when it came out.
Took the world by storm.
And I equated it to having the Street Fighter 4 effect. where it reinvigorated the fighting scene.
Oh, cool.
Which, granted, it wasn't dying, it wasn't struggling or anything at this point, but
5 didn't have the impact that 4 did. Though.
That's the thing. 5 made the love of Street Fighter fade for a little bit, and a lot of people, longtime
Fader,
fans,
am I right?
But
get him!
Wow, Street Fighter 6, at least to me, did the Street Fighter 4 thing, where it just like got me in its claws. I played online, I played the story mode, I played arcade mode. I just went through the ringer with it. And it was awesome. It was amazing all the way through. By the end of it, I played 500 matches.
Whoa.
300 of them were online.
No way.
Insane. I couldn't put it down.
That's what a fighting game needs to do, especially nowadays.
Yes.
Like, it's hard. We talk about this all the time. Like, as people who play like story-based games and kind of have our hands in all different corners of the platform, or of the medium, I should say, for something to hold your attention that hard, and a fighting game, it's got to have enough meat to it. Yes. And I think that's what happened with, like, you look at Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Did not have the content or the, I don't know, maybe it even had more content than 3.
No way. 3 was so good.
It was better, but I feel like Infinite tried to do more, and that took away from.
Yeah, well, they had the story mode. Infinite had the story mode and technically arcade mode and stuff like that. But
and
it fell flat because, and that's the thing when it comes to fighting games, is you need that perfect balance, because you can have the greatest story and a million features, but if your gameplay's not great, you're not going to want people to stick around.
100%.
And you can have the greatest gameplay in the world, but if you don't have enough things to keep people playing, because online can be super punishing, and it can turn a lot of people away because they're like, I don't want to get killed by this guy who knows the meta and who will corner spam me forever. And so you need that balance, and Street Fighter 6 did it perfectly because they majorly focused on single player, because they have that world tour mode, which is an open world, and you go around and fight. You can fight anybody in the game.
Super cool.
And then there's the main story. And then you have arcade mode, so you get all the individual stories for all the characters that you like.
Yeah.
And then they have the World Hub mode, which is multiplayer with a bunch of different modes. It is just so chock full of features that it's so valuable just as a game in itself.
Yeah.
Like, not even as a Street Fighter game, but it's just so well put together that even if you're not a fan of fighting, there's something there for you to enjoy.
Cool.
Which is crazy because it is just a fighting game at its heart. But
it's one of those genres like racing games.
Yes.
That's like, how do they keep making more?
Right. It's like you've raced in everything.
Yeah, right. You've fought everybody. You've driven every car.
You've done it all.
But they keep finding ways.
Yeah.
Sounds like this time was a success.
Yep, Street Fighter 6 knocked it out of the park.
Proud of me.
Yes, I did eventually get to the end of my gameplay with it, where I've just pretty much done everything. It's having steady updates and stuff. They had the Ninja Turtles collab, which was cool and stuff like that. But yeah, like all good things, it has to come to an end.
Yeah.
But Street Fighter 6, if you're a fan of Street Fighter, it is a great return to form. All the characters are really cool. The combo system's incredible. The visuals, they do like a hip hop vibe. So,
cool.
It's just, you can, it reeks of hip hop in the best way possible. So they really picked a good genre.
Like street style, like graffiti and
exactly.
That kind of vibe.
Yep,
That's my picture.
Yep.
Just like the Jet Grind radio designers.
For sure, yeah. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That's great.
But yeah, it's such a treat. It is. Go play it. Super Keeper.
All right.
Super Keeper once again.
What is Only Up?
I'm gonna throw up.
Wait, is that the thing with the guy and the pick and the...
So, same concept. Concept where... So, the game you're describing is Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.
Yes,
and it's a guy in a cauldron who has to climb up this insurmountable mountain full of junk and things, and it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It's one of the worst games I've ever played.
Yeah, I've seen so many... I watched you play it.
Yeah.
I've seen people play it on YouTube, and it's punishing because there's really only like one button.
Yeah, so you use the mouse and you spin around the what do you have? Pickaxe.
That's
and you use it to like grip onto ledges and stuff. But the controls are just trash.
Yeah,
like it's just it's fun concept, but if you're trying to beat it, you won't.
Yeah,
it's not beatable.
Not happening.
Plenty of people have beaten it, but they're all liars and cheats because it can't be done. So in the same vein of pain games is what we call them when I stream. Only Up is a game in which you can go only up.
Okay.
You climb millions of objects to get to the top. The thing about this game,
tell me,
very similar to Bennett Foddy, is if you fall, there's a very high likelihood you will fall to the bottom.
Oh, it's the worst.
And this is not a game
punishing.
Yeah, this is not a game where it's like, oh, this will be like a quick 10-minute climb. Like, that's the fun. It takes, no joke, 4 hours to get to the top.
So it's one level?
What? It's not. Yeah, I guess so. It's not a level. It's hell. It's hell. But yeah, it's one environment. And so I played it. I played it. I climbed, man. I climbed for hours.
Yeah.
Hours. What was I think my stream number was like 5 hours. 4.5, 5, whatever it was. Yeah. I just kept going and going. I was having a good time. I fell a couple times, but not. I fell to the very bottom once, but it was about like 10 minutes in. Barry's got it. 3.5 hours of climbing. Wow. So you hit what's called the halfway point, and they trick you because it's like, congratulations, you've won, you've beaten it. They give you all the exciting, fun things. And then there's an elevator you go into, and that's when the game starts. You know, the hour and a half of climbing before that is nothing. No. Baby stuff.
What?
Trash. So I played this game, and I was like, I can beat this. So I kept climbing, got really far up there. And I got to this point, and mind you, this whole game, unlike other Pain games, there aren't really like traps. Like, it's strictly like 90% of the time it's your skill.
Okay.
And so the climbing feels okay.
So that's better than having things that just like pop out at you, right? Will
fall or trick or whatever. So, and that's what was going on with the game. Again, there were a couple like kind of tricky, weird angles, but you can trigger slow motion. Like, there are things to make it a more enjoyable experience.
Okay, that's good.
But it's so scary. It's so scary because if you fall or mess up at any point, because when you're falling, it locks you in a invisible wall cube. Okay. Like, you don't see it, but you can't like push yourself to grab onto a ledge.
Oh yeah.
So depending,
that sucks.
Yeah. So depending on where you fall, you might you might have to follow the bottom because your character can't move out of that invisible square.
Yeah.
But sometimes your square's in a place where you can grab it, and it's the best in the world.
Okay.
So all that to say, got to this part. I was climbing, and they give you this beautiful rainbow bridge. Rainbow bridge. Nice. And you're like, this is awesome. So you run to the end of the bridge, and then there's like a bunch of stuff you can jump on. This big square table in the middle, again, with a bunch of stuff. I jump on the table. Like every other object in this game, I must have climbed thousands of objects at this point.
Sounds right.
Jump on the table, falls.
The table falls.
The table falls. It was a trap. All the objects on the table did not fall. That's what you were supposed to jump on. No indication, no nothing, and I fell to the bottom.
They got you so good.
Got me so good. 3.5 hours of climbing, gone. No save, no checkpoints, no nothing. So, all that to say, don't play games.
Right. Give them up.
Give them up.
All done.
Give them up.
Yeah.
And it was because of some stupid trap. Again, no indication at all.
But I mean, you're saying give them up, but you went back and beat it.
So I went back and played
it. Of course you did.
But I didn't beat it.
You didn't beat it?
I still haven't beat it.
Are you going to?
Did
you reach a breaking point? You're like, I can't?
So here's the thing.
Tell me what it is.
They have added an elevator that takes you to that halfway point.
Oh.
So I do not have to spend like an hour or 2 hours climbing up. It's nicer, right? Yeah. So that's what made me come back. Because when I fell, I quit the game. I deleted it. I was done. I was all over. And then we later learned that they added that elevator. So I was like, okay. All right, I'll go back and do this.
They had that planned all along.
Yep. And so I got back up to the table and fell again. I fell again. I knew the table falls. And so I was like, oh, I'll just go jump on this. I messed up the jump and fell.
Two things about Tim.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to spin spaghetti with a spoon.
No.
And he does not learn from his mistakes.
I do not. I jumped on the table. I knew. I didn't even jump on the table. I just messed up my jump and landed on the table. So, I have since not gone back to it. I still have it. It's right there. Only up. I have it.
I can't find it.
Oh, it's on top of the screen.
All I can see is that icon with a big butt.
Next.
Oh, I see it.
Also, fun thing to add with this, the developer has since removed the game from Steam. You can no longer buy it.
But you have it.
I have it. Once you
Why'd they remove it?
Because there was a lot of controversy surrounding it. Because he used assets that he wasn't supposed to use.
Dude.
In which he went in, he fixed it, but then I guess he just ended up not wanting all the pressure after.
Wow.
So he was like,
that's nuts.
Yeah, I'm just out of here. So he...
I'm all done. I mean, how ironic is that one of the most stressful games you've ever played stressed the
developer
out of developing.
He's like,
what am I thinking?
What torture? Because I'm curious, like, what brought him to that point. I guess because of the asset thing, but
art really is a reflection of the artist.
It really is.
The most stressed dude in the world makes a game that you can't even finish.
That's his life that he's climbing all the way to the top. So someday I think I'll revisit it, but man, I am just so burnt on it.
You might want to save that for like a 24-hour stream or something.
Yeah, that's when I did it originally.
Oh, really?
That was for a 12-hour stream, I think. But
maybe not. You're going to ruin your long streams for yourself.
Yeah, it is. Ugh. But yeah, so where I have to go now, I think I have about an hour or so of climbing.
Okay.
Where this like halfway point is.
So the question is, obviously this is a certain type of game. Keeper or sleeper? Are you telling people to avoid it, or are you saying like
you can't buy it anymore?
Oh,
so
let's say they have access to it.
Right. Let's say they got it. You can probably find different ways to get it. Yeah. If you like a challenge, here's the thing: as far as a game goes, I'm only salty about the table falling. That's the biggest middle finger to your neck that they could give you.
Which is the worst kind of middle finger.
Right. But like as far as these pain games go, it's better because Bennett Foddy sucks. A lot of the other ones have traps or bad controls. This one controls fine. It gives you stuff. So it's more so the challenge.
Yeah.
So I think it is a keeper. As much as I hate it.
Okay, sure.
It is, if you're comparing it to the other pain games,
yeah.
Controls are good, concepts fun, and very difficult if you mess up. Very punishing.
It makes sense that it could be a keeper. Because this is a type of game.
Right.
People might like this type of game.
Yeah. But I hate it.
But you hate it.
Yeah.
But it's a keeper.
But I gotta give it a keeper.
You gotta give it a keeper.
Yeah.
What about Goodbye Volcano High? I don't know what that is.
Been so long that I don't know if I can have the same points.
So I'll give you an out.
Yeah. I
know some of these have been on here for a minute.
Yes.
You can just give it
a keeper,
a quick synopsis and a keeper or a sleeper.
I think that's what I'm going to do with this one.
Okay.
I had a great time with it. It's essentially a story of you play as anthropomorphic dinosaurs.
Already in
high school.
Even more in.
At the potential end of the world.
Wow.
So they do everything that humans do. They're just in high school.
Right.
So it's a rhythm game. What?
I thought you were gonna say something that's not human.
No.
They do everything that humans do. They're just dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But you said they do everything that humans do. They're just in high school.
That's it.
Which is, I get why you're saying it, but it sounded like you were saying that as if humans don't go to high school.
Right.
Like they do everything humans do except they're in high school.
No.
You just bait and switched me.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It was the big trickery.
All right. So carry on.
Yeah. So they're in high school.
Yeah.
So it's a rhythm narrative game.
What? I didn't see that coming.
No, because you play I forgot the name of the character. You play I forgot the name of that. Johnson. Yeah, you play as Johnson, and they want to live their dream of playing in a band and traveling the world.
Of course.
But all of their friends might not share the same dream.
Oh.
You know, their bandmates, their friends who are in the band. Bandmates is what I just said. I just said it twice. And their dreams might not align with Johnson's.
Okay.
So poor Johnson has to juggle with trying to figure out what they want to do with their life, if they still want to follow the career in music or do something more realistic. So it's very much like a CW teen drama all the way through.
Okay.
It's like cheesy at times. It's heartfelt. There are a lot of high school things. I had a lot of spit in my mouth. I apologize. That you would probably relate to as far as like popularity or things. Yeah, you specifically.
I did go to high school.
Yeah, you did.
A few of them.
A few of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a treat all the way through. It's mostly a TV show more than anything. There's very little interaction. The music segments are just like, press a couple buttons and like play along with the music. And then you can make decisions that affect like the outcome of the game.
Okay.
But a lot of it is just watching a movie play out.
And you liked it.
Yes. Super keeper. Super keeper.
Tim's just handing out super
There's
keepers
so many good things
right.
I've been playing.
That's cool, man. I'm sorry I made you wait so long to talk about these
No,
things.
it's on me, but it's emotional. It's great.
Now, historically, you've not been a big Amnesia fan. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yes.
So Amnesia very well known first person horror game. Probably one of the earliest like walking simulator type.
Yeah, it definitely like was one of the games that redefined the genre of horror games. And spawned a million billion horror games.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's so many now. Even I, as a massive fan of the genre, am like, dude, can we please get a camera over someone's shoulder? I'm so sick of seeing my hands.
So many of them are first person. And I like first person, but you're right.
I do too. I just like...
A lot of them will blend together.
I felt the same way with the 360 era where like everything was an FPS. Like every game was just me looking at hands and a gun. And the environments were cool, but I'm like, can we just switch up the gameplay? I love third person games too.
Yeah.
I've always loved that feeling.
The thing with third person is... It doesn't always hit with the horror, but some do it really well.
That's true.
First person really puts you in the action. Yeah. But I mean, Silent Hill and Resident Evil, like,
dude, I know.
Prime examples. Kuon, there's a lot of good third person horror games. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Dead Space.
Dead Space. Maybe I don't know. Maybe third person does it well. There's a lot.
It almost feels like the first person's a little bit of a hack because like you're in it more.
Right.
That's definitely scary, but maybe that's why I like third person. Maybe I'm a wimp, and I'm like, I want a little extra distance. I just want Leon a little bit between me and the horror. But you played Amnesia: The Bunker.
The Bunker.
That's the recent one that came out?
That's the most recent.
All right.
Dude.
What?
I was blown away.
Really?
By how much fun I had in this game.
No way.
So you play as a dude, I believe it's World War I, because you start in a trench, and I don't know if there are trenches in World War II.
They only had trenches in World War I.
That's it.
No other war has ever had trenches.
Trenches. No, it's the only one.
The trench.
But no, it does take place during World War I, and you're playing as this soldier in war, and you get stuck in a bunker. Long story short, you get stunk in a bunker. You get stunk in a bunkie. You get stunky in a bunkie.
Amnesia, stunk in a bunkie.
Oh, stunk in a bunkie.
Amnesia, stunk in a bunkie. This summer. Coming this fall. Did you ever notice there almost no ads for games have voiceovers? It's all text on screen.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? I wonder why that is. We're not used to having a guy be like, coming this fall.
Do they still do that for movies anymore?
Leon Kennedy gave you the ride of your life.
No, you know why? Because it's YouTubers nowadays that just say it.
We've talked about it before, but the YouTube accent is so weird.
Hey guys, it's me, YouTube guy.
I saw a guy yesterday. Jazz was watching this one, and he was just telling. It was one of those reels where they're like, "Did you know that in 1999?" I'm trying to remember how he said it. It was the most exaggerated, like
There's like weird inflections with things, and
I can mimic it right after I see it happen, but it's just so weird because I could see this guy. It wasn't just a voiceover. He was going back and forth between himself, and he was like, in 1999, a theme park had a roller coaster that only 3 people could be on at a time. And I was like, what is this guy talking about? I don't even understand what's happening. And it was just really weird. But yeah, you don't hear voiceovers for video game ads. Why is that? Did you just solve the problem and I wasn't listening?
No, it's fine. It's I was just saying YouTubers generally do a lot of the talking, so they don't need to do voiceovers and commercials anymore because other people talk about it.
Oh,
that's not why or anything.
But like you watch game trailers, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And there's nobody.
But do movie trailers have voiceovers anymore?
Oh, maybe not.
Not at least in the way we think.
Oh, you're right.
In a world,
just trailers don't have.
Yeah, it just shows. If anything, it'll do a voiceover from a character in the movie.
Yeah.
They're like.
Right. They'll be like. 1982. It's just a character in the movie who narrates like a movie narrator.
You'll see it in like comedies.
Oh yeah, I don't know why. No, you're right. It's just not a thing anymore. I was. I just thought movie trailers were still like, this summer, go on an adventure with the 4 turtles you know and love. No one does that anymore.
No. Barry says some trailers do. What?
Really?
What trailers?
That's so interesting. It's kids' movies.
Kids' movies. Hey, kids!
That's what it is, yeah. You've seen them on the small screen.
Now.
This summer, go bananas. No, the Paw Patrol's not bananas.
No.
I had something about the Paw Patrol.
Go barking mad.
Strap in for a summer of barking fun with the Paw Patrol.
Grab your dog cookies and squeak toys. Anyways, Amnesia Stunky in a Bunky.
Amnesia Stunk in a Bunky. This fall. So it was good.
It was good. It was. I was impressed.
Dude, Stunk in a Bunky.
You gotta play Stuck in a Bunky. Stuck in a Bunky.
I want to subtitle a bunch of horror games with like the worst subtitle ever. Look how red I am.
Oh, dude, you're laughing. It's called comedy.
Amnesia Stunk in a Bunky.
Oh.
All right, keep going.
Yeah, so you get stuck in the bunker.
Oh my gosh.
And there's a monster in it.
Oh, there is.
A horrific demonic demon monster that's hunting you.
It's the scariest kind.
Yeah, and this game nails the atmosphere.
Really?
The feeling of isolation.
Yeah.
Because the idea is like, okay, I'm stuck in this bunker.
Yeah.
And
I'm stunk in this bunky.
I'm stunk in a bunky. And like, how far could you really go for it to look so different as you're like exploring the bunker,
sure,
right?
Yeah.
But it goes to so many crazy off the wall places. Like
really,
the bunker is like above this ancient burial site, and so you go through like it's crazy. It's crazy. But the big thing about this game is you're supposed to die. You're supposed to experiment. You're supposed to try things and fail. And the whole point of this game is to escape. Is to find a way out. And so there are objects hidden around the map that you need to go and find by using whatever is around, the resources.
Okay.
So sometimes you'll find like a grenade. And so you can use the grenade to fight the monster. Monster can't die. You can make it run away, but you can't kill it. So you can use the grenade to fight the monster. You can use the grenade to blow up doors that sometimes will require keys or a different object to blow it up. So it's your items are the keys, basically.
Yeah.
So it's really cool because you can play it a million different ways and it'll never be the same.
That is cool. Really unique experience for each player.
But
I like that.
When you play it, death won't reset the game. Whenever you're in the story mode, like you're just in it.
Okay.
So the death is just for experimentation. It's not like a roguelike where the items will reset and all that. They're always in the same place.
Okay.
But it's just about how you get there.
I like that personally.
It's nice because you don't have to worry about everything resetting and running from the monster and stuff like that.
So with the monster returning, is it kind of like Alien Isolation-y?
Yes, very much. It's hunting you. There are little holes and vents it can come out of, or not vents, but that's
similar to that.
Yeah, same concept. So, but you can.
It's a very advanced bunker.
That's why it's a bunky, a futuristic bunker.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just really impressed me with how creative you can get with how you fight the monster. You can block paths. You can use like wood and different things you find to mix and match items to use them for other things.
That's cool.
There's this whole locker room with like a bunch of the soldiers' materials.
Yeah.
And each one has a code. And you'll find different bits of different codes in different rooms. But, you might not be able to get to the locker that has like a gun, for instance.
Yeah.
If you didn't pick the right path to get there. So you might go through the whole game without a essential weapon.
Wow.
Because you didn't take the right path.
That's cool. I like stuff like that.
Yeah, it's super imaginative. So
what's how's the scare factor?
Pretty solid. I would say the creature is creepy.
Yeah.
And you don't see it for a while. You do a lot of stuff, and I don't know if that was just my playthrough in particular or if I just kept missing him. But he'll show up whenever, and once he's on you, I mean, I think I can count on my hands how many times I actually survived an encounter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mostly because I didn't want to use my materials.
Yeah, that'll be me too.
Yeah, and even if you do, right, it's like I don't, because like you'll have a gun and it'll be super limited on bullets. You'll have like 3 bullets.
Yeah.
And there's these like red barrels that you can shoot to blow up doors and stuff. So you'll want to keep the bullets for that.
See, yeah.
But a bullet sometimes will stop the monster. Sometimes it takes 2, depending on where you hit it. So then it's like, okay, do I use the gun? Do I try to blow it up? But if you don't get rid of the monster, he'll catch you. You need to do something. But there's traps. It's one of the most creative horror games I've ever played.
Really?
And I really, really enjoyed it.
That's fancy.
Highly, highly recommend it. Super Keeper.
Another one. I think we only have Super Keeper or Sleeper.
Sleeper.
Super
but
Keeper
yeah, Amnesia, Stunky in a Bunky. Stunk in a
Bunky
is a classic. It's on Game Pass last I checked.
I think it still is.
It still is, yeah.
Because the collection is too.
Yeah, I haven't liked any of the other ones.
Really?
Yeah.
And aren't there like 3?
I think Machine for Pigs, and then they just came out with
Machine for Pigs?
Yeah, it's Amnesia, The Dark Descent, Amnesia, Machine for Pigs, or Machine of Pigs, and then Amnesia Descent or something.
Yeah, The Descent sounds right.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot.
I'm glad this one's a super keeper.
Super keeper. I've only been having fun.
That's good.
Oh, I'm gonna throw up.
What's Bomb Rush Cyberfunk?
Oh, it's the spiritual successor to Jet Grind Radio.
Oh,
finally came out.
Is it amazing?
Oh, it's incredible.
If anyone doesn't know what Jet Grind Radio is, go on YouTube and watch it and just imagine how fun it is to play.
Yes.
You're on rollerblades. Your whole goal is just to tag up walls with spray paint.
Yep.
And in case you don't know what tagging is.
Yeah.
And
not cool enough.
Not get caught by the cops. And it's the coolest looking, one of the earliest, I'd say one of the biggest cell shaded art style games. Yeah. And it was just so vibrant and brand new and just so fun and so Sega.
Yes, the most Sega.
It's the most Sega ever. I love it so much. And then, so it was only the first one was Jet Grind Radio and the rest were Jet Set, right?
Yes.
Or the second one was Jet Set Radio.
Jet Set Radio. Yeah. And now all future mention of it because there was a band, I think, in the UK called Jet Grind
that's
Radio
right.
That's right.
Right.
So they had to change their name.
So is this the same company?
No. So I don't even know if I don't think it's any ex-developers either.
So nothing related at all.
I don't think so. I think it's just fans who wanted to make a new Jet Grind Radio game.
Yeah.
So they did it. Everything you just described is what this game is.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's about tagging. It's about now. Granted, this one has a much, I would say, deeper story as far as what's going on. Because Jet Grind Radio definitely has a story, but it's just hey, go to this area, fight this group, and then
grind
go to
on stuff.
Yeah. So it follows the same concept, but there is your character is more important, and the characters you work with are more important.
When did this come out?
A couple months ago.
Oh, it's new.
August, yeah, it came out August.
What?
Yeah.
Where can you play it?
Everything: Xbox, PlayStation, PS5, PS4.
It's not
Xbox.
on Game Pass, is it?
It's not yet. I hope so soon.
All right.
I'll
wait.
You'll wait. But yeah, it's everything you described. It's a great spiritual successor. Yeah. So they just wanted to make a modern day Jet Grind Radio.
I want that so badly. So I'm very glad that exists.
Yes, and they nailed it through and through.
Super Keeper.
Super Keeper. Yeah. I would say my only complaint, and it's not a big one, but some of the environments are very big. And you'll spend a lot of time skating around and doing nothing.
That was my biggest problem with Jet Grind Radio. Initially, especially playing it on Dreamcast, it was that era. N64 had some games like this too, where the maps were too big and not detailed enough.
Right.
So you could easily get lost, and then you're just you get to a point where you're all right, I have no idea what I'm missing.
Yes.
Now I just have to go to every corner I can find to be have I been here yet? Yep. No. Have I been here yet? No.
And that problem is very persistent.
It sucks. I don't like that.
Right. They followed it too much to a T.
Yeah, right. It's a little too
all the positives and some of the flaws.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can get past that, it's not that big of a deal. But I definitely spent an extra 30 minutes in an area that should have taken me 5.
Yeah.
Because either I fell from a high place and had to grind all the way back up, or I just got lost and couldn't figure out where to go. So,
yeah.
But otherwise, it's awesome. Overall, super keeper.
Worth it.
Yeah. Worth it. So I think they're asking $40 for it.
Yeah.
I would say it's worth the 40 right now.
Man, I might actually get that. That just sounds so fun.
Oh, and the composer is the same composer from Jet Grind Radio.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
No way.
And the songs are definitely they don't hit the same as the Jet Grind Radio, but they're on par. They're they're getting there.
So interesting segue here. I see the next thing we have on the list is Cyberpunk.
Yes.
And I saw Akira Yamaoka is one of my favorite composers who composes all the Silent Hill games.
Yep.
And the soundtrack for the Cyberpunk anime on Netflix is it an anime? I haven't watched it yet.
Yep.
Yeah. Has Akira Yamaoka's name all over it. I listened to only one song, and actually maybe I'll listen to it in its entirety on the way home. And it's just a different vibe. Obviously, Cyberpunk is not Silent Hill.
It's not.
But it was cool seeing his name on something newer.
Yeah.
And I know he's working with Bloober Team on Silent Hill too.
Oh, so, cool.
That'll be really cool too. But I see Cyberpunk on the list.
Yeah.
Is this your first time playing it recently?
Yes.
Or, okay, because I have a bunch of friends who got it day one.
Day one. So did I.
Did you play it at all?
I didn't.
Yeah, so many people have problems with it.
And I didn't play it for that reason. I was just
You did not play it for that reason, you're saying?
Right. Like, okay. It wasn't because of all the glitches and issues. I just had, so I was playing so many games at that time. So I was like, okay, I can wait a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
And at that point, it didn't have the PS5 version available. So I got the PS4 version, and then then it eventually was going to come out and do that. But, God, man, this game.
Yeah?
Oh.
Super Keeper?
Oh my god.
It's so funny because, dude, when it came out, all I was hearing was how much people wanted it to be good.
Yeah.
I had 3 friends that I one of them might still be here in chat, who just could not get into it because it was just fully failing them.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm hearing different things. I'm hearing it's like totally worth every penny.
So it just came out with a new expansion called Phantom Liberty.
Yeah.
Which has revamped not only like adding this huge like 10-hour expansion, but revamped the whole game. So the leveling up system's different, the weapons are different, the character interactions are different. They did like a full overhaul.
Yeah.
So at this point, I can't compare it to the original because I haven't played it, and you can't anymore because they've had the update. But whatever version I'm playing now is amazing.
Yeah,
it's just
love everything about it.
It's just everything. I mean,
I think a lot of people know what it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, at least me, everything I've heard is like you can do anything you want. There's like no end to this environment.
Yeah,
it's I don't know, futuristic GTA.
Yeah, it's just that open.
So what do you love so much about it? Like, what gets you excited to like sit down and play it?
The story's incredible. It's so every single person, both voice acting and just their characters, are just like so fascinating.
Yeah.
And the side missions, and so these are the developers who did Witcher 3.
Oh,
CD Projekt
which
Red.
You put like 8,000 hours into.
Yeah. So I love how in depth they go with their games. And I usually don't like super huge games where I have to spend hundreds of hours like exploring and all that stuff. I do like exploring, but it just comes to a point. But Cyberpunk is great because it's sci-fi, it's futuristic, which I love.
Love that.
I love that. I'm already in.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's just so. You can make it however you want to make it. So like you can build your characters in different ways. So my character is a blade, an expert in blades. So I'm just slicing up everybody who looks at me the wrong way.
I always pick characters with blades for some reason.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
Blades and pistols is what I use.
I had a rogue in what is it? Lords of the Fallen.
Lords of the Fallen.
Yeah. And I picked a rogue because they have 2 blades.
Yeah.
And
I tried to do that. I always feel like they're so weak though.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But they were fast, so I just stuck with it and leveled them up. But,
yep.
But that sounds great. So you're just slicing people.
Yeah, and I'm just playing the game like I feel like the game is crafted for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's everybody's experience through it is because you can upgrade yourself in all these different ways and make the character that you want to make. It just feels perfect.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
How many hours do you have in so far?
I'm at 49. I know it sounds pretty weak. This game in general, I think, is shorter.
I wasn't gonna say that sounds weak.
Well, it seems like the type of game you would have 150 hours.
Well, you will eventually.
I hope not.
That's crazy.
I've been playing it off and on for like over a month now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like you've played no games in between.
No. Yeah. But it really is like anytime I have like a good chunk of time, I'll sit and play it and just rock at it.
That's good. I'm happy to hear that it's like living up to what it was supposed to be at this point because it was not for a little while. Mm-hmm. Unless just all my friends are extra salty, which some of them are, but
yeah, well, it seemed to be pretty bad when it first
was a tough launch.
Yeah.
But I'm also happy for like everyone involved with creating the game and developing it because to have a game that big with that much buzz around it, fail, which I don't think it ever failed. I think it's always been doing pretty decent numbers.
Yeah, everyone bought it when it first came out. And they might have lost some money with returns, but they've been updating it over time, and it's become so much better.
That's great. Good for them.
Super Keeper.
Are you cool to stay in games? We're almost through.
Yeah, we're almost through. Let's do it.
I know this is like the longest game segment we've had forever. I know we didn't have to go chronologically, but I was just going down the list, and they're all you.
They are.
Every single one.
Well, you haven't been playing games because your hands. But
I have 2 things at the end of the list.
Yeah, and I'm involved in.
And you're involved in one of them.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Next one.
Yeah.
Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights.
Oh.
Are you?
It's so.
You sure you're good to stay in games?
It's. It's so middle of the ground.
Shouts to chat real quick for staying with us too. I know we haven't in between segments. Jones, what's up? I saw you popped up in here.
And we got Pandoro. Got lovely people.
We're almost done with the game.
Yeah, we've been talking so much.
Yeah, it's a lot. Thanks for hanging out with us. Here's what bums me out about your just what you just said about Gotham Knights and how little I've heard about it since it came out is like all of the Arkham games have been so great. Mm-hmm. And this just seemed like a perfect formula for great co-op experience.
It seems like it's where the general direction of the games were going. Yeah. With how Arkham Knight ended and just it seemed perfect.
And then what?
Here's the thing.
Tell me what it is.
The game is the most fun you'll have with a mediocre game that one can have.
Okay.
It's like Troll 2. It's so bad it's good.
Oh no!
But it's
in game form. That sounds awful.
I know it's not something you want. It's here's the thing. It like almost does everything all right.
Okay.
Because here's the big problem.
Okay.
Co-op, as there's 4 characters, right? Yeah. And you would assume that you could play 4-player co-op. They were restricted to 2 players, which is still fine, which is still not the end of the world.
That's interesting.
A lot of the games nowadays are up to 4 players. Sure. So I generally have a group of people when I play games being 3 or 4 people. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I can do 2 depending on the person, but so that's just kind of the big takeaway is that it's not 4-player, even though there's 4 characters.
Yeah.
But what is the whole game is you going around Gotham and stopping crimes. And then there are these main story crimes that are like, there's a story it follows and their main story missions and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's all done within like that hub Gotham zone. And it's kind of small it feels small because it's like a couple islands but it's big when you're in it. Here's the thing. The game is just weird. It does things that are cool.
Yeah.
And it does some Gotham, Arkham Knight things that you expect from it.
Yeah.
But it also does a bunch of things that just don't make sense or just don't work.
So, I mean, like what?
Like the combat.
So far you've described like every Arkham game and it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, but it's so just not there. Because it's got a loot system, a loot and armor system.
Okay.
So you're constantly upgrading your character with new armor. Some will have elements that, depending on who you fight, the elements will be strong or weak against.
I see. Okay.
So the game will obviously proportionally get stronger. The characters will get stronger as you level up.
Sure, of course.
So, if you don't like the looty grinding system.
Looty grindy.
Yeah, you have to do it.
Stunk in a bunkie.
Yeah, stunk in a bunkie. The combat is a very dumbed down version of Arkham.
That sucks because that's one of the best parts of the Arkham games.
Yeah, because it almost has it. Yeah. But you have a new ranged weapon. So depending on who you are, you essentially have like a gun. So like I played as Nightwing. That was the character I played as throughout the whole game. And he has like a stun dart. And so you'll like in the middle of a combo, you can do like range.
Sounds kind of cool.
It sounds cool, but it stops you dead in your tracks. So if you're in the middle of a combo and you do it, it doesn't flow along with the combo. It stops. Yeah. You don't have the stun move where you can do the quick punches. That's completely gone.
Oh, man.
Which is like one of the best parts.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's mindlessly just pressing X as you like beat up guys.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's just so mediocre.
Yeah.
It's just mediocre.
Did you like Arkham Knight?
I did.
Okay.
Yep, I really enjoyed it. So all that to say, I had fun playing with friends. You need to play it in co-op. Solo, that's not it.
Okay.
You need to play with someone.
But there is like a beatable campaign?
There's a full campaign to go through.
Okay.
And the story's fine.
No.
It's okay.
It's tough because we've seen some really good Arkham storylines already.
And it could be good, but there's just like the way it goes is like kind of predictable, but also a story we've seen a couple times before. And so it's like not original, but then does get original.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's such a mixed bag.
So it's just not consistently impressive.
Right. Like when it's fun, it's fun. It's I'm glad I got it on Game Pass. I don't think I would have paid what they wanted at first for it or what they're asking now for it.
Well, how's it changed?
Just because it didn't do well. So now it went from $60 to like you probably get in a bargain bin at $15.
Oof, it's that bad?
Well, it might be 30. I don't know, but
so Super Keeper.
It's a keeper.
Oh,
it is a keeper.
It went from Super Keeper to keeper.
It just went down to a keeper.
Now we have three levels.
Yeah, right. Super.
Maybe we
keeper.
could go 4. Super Sleeper.
Yeah, like just
the
burn
worst.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. It's a keeper if you have friends and if you have Game Pass.
Yeah.
Don't spend money on it otherwise.
And don't play it alone.
Don't play it alone.
So if you don't have friends.
Yeah. And I think
you have money.
Right.
Don't play.
Don't play it. Yeah, you can spend your time doing much better things in the gaming space.
Yeah. All right. Wow.
Yeah. But it's so just middle
of
the
those
road.
games that had like so much hype around it.
Yeah. And it should have been good, but they just made really poor decisions.
That's unfortunate. I think we might have to update this transition at some point because the next game we're going to talk about, I really wanted to talk about, but it's not a video game.
But it's a game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying we might play more games like this.
Right.
Based on a video game.
Yes.
One that you guys might have heard of from us. Resident Evil 2.
The board game?
The board game. So...
What was the song I sang when we were playing?
Ooh. Oh, it was. That's what it was. Yeah, Tim had 2 of the characters being a little inappropriate.
Hey, they survived. they deserve
they were
a little.
excited. So Tim's been sitting on this board game for, I don't know, 5 years.
2018, I want to say.
That's crazy. And it was a Kickstarter.
Yep.
Yeah, that he supported, and the game is so cool.
So cool.
We haven't played a ton of tabletop games. Like I think we've both played some, but we've talked. Tim plays more than I do, more regularly, and we've been trying to play this game forever. We've talked about it, and we finally got it together. I was invited to play with Tim and his friends. Are they my friends too?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I don't
Collectively,
know
our friends are all of ours.
We all have friends, and they let me. But you guys always play together.
Yes.
And you let me crash.
I
eat chicken with you.
Oh.
And the chicken was great.
So good.
We didn't even put that in the food section.
We did.
So I was stoked to be a part of the first time we laid out and played Resident Evil 2.
Yes.
It is such a cool game because it's incredible how it references the video game. Like how it translates from video game to board game. And if you're familiar, which all 4 of us are like stupidly familiar with the game. We're like, oh, this is like when you meet this guy in this room. And the way that it works is I think there were 6 different scenarios, 6 or 7. And it walks you in the game. You start outside the Raccoon City Police Department, and it walks you basically through different areas of the game in each scenario. And there are cards that will generate more enemies. There are objectives, just like in the game, where you have to get a certain item before you can progress. You need to find a key in the corner of the map. So that might mean you have to fight a certain enemy. The first time we faced a licker, they had so many hit points that it was like me and our friend Nick got destroyed. And on some of the
cool.
we played there's a tutorial map and then 2 other scenarios, and there was one where all 4 of us had to get to the same room. The first one we kind of played like if one of us got out.
Right.
I don't know what the rule was for that one.
That one was just kind of like figure out how to play the game.
Figuring
Good
it
luck.
out. Yeah. But it was very, very fun. Can you still order this game?
Yeah. Yep. You can go to their website.
It's in full production now.
Pretty sure. Let me double check.
And who makes it?
Steam Forged Games.
Steam Forged Games.
And they've done a bunch of video game adaptations into board games.
Did they do the Dark Souls one?
Yeah. They're doing a Kickstarter right now for Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh, cool.
But let me see if you can get it. So yeah, it's cool because they have you set up these maps that are very much adjacent to how they are in the game. So when you're in the first scenario, that's when you're first in the police department, and there's you already explained it, the liquor hallway.
Oh yeah. The hallway itself is just like
it's an L-shaped hallway where the liquor's sitting at one end. Like you can tell whoever designed this, they are very much fans of the game. Because it's tough too.
It's hard. That's the other thing that's crazy about it is it really mimics the experience of playing the game, like in the difficulty with certain enemies and things like that. It's so crazy.
Exclusive scopes. I keep seeing the survival horror expansion. There it is, board game, and you can. Oh, it's sold out.
Sold out.
Sold out.
How many monies?
109. I got it for 50.
Wow.
That was my That's my Kickstarter backer money.
They have other games on there too that are definitely worth checking out. But so yeah, it looks like it's sold out from the website now. I'm wondering if they'll restock because they do still have it listed.
Yeah, they do have all the expansions available to purchase on there. I'm gonna check eBay. What do you think it's going for?
If it's 110 on that 200, 150.
What 200?
I don't know anything about like the board game resale market.
Board games are like are pretty expensive.
Yeah. Oh, I know that they're expensive, but yeah, if you can't get it, I mean, I would say at least 150 or maybe.
Oh, it's not bad at all. 82.
82. So get it on
76. eBay. This guy's selling them for 115.
Yeah. That guy's trying to make a couple bucks.
Yeah.
If you can get your hands on it and you have a group of people to play with and you're a fan of Resident Evil, 100% recommend it. It was so much fun. I can't wait to play the other scenarios. And there are multiple different ways you can play the game. So lots of replay value. And we've got, 2 or 3 expansion packs.
That 2 of them will add new enemies and new characters. And the other one's just like bonus sculpts.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Highly recommend.
Absolutely a keeper. Tim would call it a super keeper.
Super keeper, at least, for sure.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
I had a great time.
I have one last thing in games, and I have to talk about this because it just happened last night.
Yeah, and I didn't get the chance to watch it.
You can still do it today.
Yes. Oh, good.
Yeah. So we're in like the renaissance of Silent Hill.
Yes.
For many, many years, fans have wanted like something new, and there's been nothing except weird mobile game things and like
pachinko machines.
Yeah. Just nothing exciting for fans of like the original launch of the franchise and the core games, I should say. So earlier this year, we had a live event where we found out we were getting all kinds of Silent Hill stuff, like tons of stuff. It was this year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I think it was like in March or something.
So we know we're getting the Silent Hill 2 remake from Bloober Team, and the first of all of these things has dropped, and it's Silent Hill Ascension. And I kept trying to figure out what the heck this is, because I knew it wasn't a game.
Right.
They kept saying it's a live interactive event, a community event, where whatever the community votes on becomes canon in the actual Silent Hill universe. Like, just could not figure out what we're talking about. So in looking it up yesterday, I found out that, because I had seen an ad for it a couple days ago, and it was like tomorrow, the premiere of Silent Hill Ascension.
Which I totally spaced on it.
Yeah, well,
totally forgot it was coming out.
If I didn't see the ad, which, I'm glad my algorithm knows me because I didn't want to miss it. So this was Halloween night, and I kept seeing comments. People were like, where the heck can I see it? Because it was kind of ambiguous.
Yeah.
I saw someone said Paramount Plus, so I'm like looking on there. There's nothing there. Turns out it's an app. So Silent Hill Ascension, the app. You download it. Last night, at the time of this recording, at 9 p.m. was the first live premiere. So when you go into the app, you go through this little tutorial where it explains to you everything that goes on within Silent Hill Ascension and how it works. Gives you this little tutorial. Every night, this is a daily event. Every night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, there's a new episode.
Okay.
So the one on the night of the premiere, there was like an introduction, and then there was like I think it was 5 to 6 minute episode. Throughout the episode, as people are having conversations, a decision will pop up, and you and everyone who's watching, and there's like a live chat where people can comment and everything, you select which of the 3 options, I think they always had 3, the person's going to respond with. The first night was pretty inconsequential. It's just some people having conversations, not really any idea what's going on. There's definitely some like culty stuff going on, and some people died, but it's not, I don't even think it happened on screen. I missed the first half of the live episode because I was doing the tutorial. So once you make that decision, it locks in, and you have 24 hours after. So even today, like after we're done recording, you could go on, watch it, make your votes.
Gotcha.
After that 24 hours, that decision is canon. That is what happened in Silent Hill. Those characters did those things. Down the road, the idea is these characters could die, they could kill someone else, like something terrible could happen, and there's no getting them back.
Is it CG or live action?
It's CG.
Oh, it is CG.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And graphically, it's pretty cool. It's like one of the, I don't know, it's not like the best I've ever seen, but it's not bad. Like, especially for daily episodes, like I don't know how they're even going to keep up with things that, I mean, they must have episodes in the chamber that represent each result, which is crazy because that means there are some that won't ever get used.
Right. That's the big thing a lot of people are like kind of mad about, is that there will be a ton of lost Silent Hill content out there, unless they decide to release like, here's what would have happened if you guys followed this path or whatever,
right?
Like the what ifs,
which they might do down the road, because we don't know when yet, but they've, there will be a finale.
Yes.
They mentioned the finale in the description of or during like the little tutorial situation. Mm-hmm. There is a currency in the game or in the app that you can get that allows you to make decisions and have more of an influence. It's called IP influence points. And the way that you get that is at the end of every episode, there's a quick time scenario where you're either tapping, you're swiping, you're doing a bunch of things to help this character survive this situation. And that's where you get the majority of your monsters, at least in the first live event. What I will say about it is it's extremely interesting. Yeah. Like sitting there on the app, watching this live thing that a bunch of other people are watching, and that you're influencing the story. We've seen interactive things like Bandersnatch, the Black Mirror movie on Netflix. There are a lot of things like that, but this is just completely different and so strange. And it's produced by Genvid, and I've never heard of them before, but I'm wondering if this is maybe the kind of thing they do, is these interactive videos. But the fact that there is a gameplay element to it. Now, one more like positive thing, you can do everything for free.
Okay.
But there is also a season pass. That's like $20, I think.
Okay.
So I don't think I'm going to be jumping on that. No. You can unlock different things. There is an avatar system, like you create your own avatar, and then
weird that they have all this around like a horror show.
Yeah, it's game right. That's the thing. I don't even know what to call it, and that's why they keep calling it like this live interactive experience or whatever. And there is a way that you can, get your avatar to be featured in an episode, and then your avatar becomes canon in the Silent Hill universe.
What the heck?
So there's all these weird like interactive things in the app, and I would say it's again, we're only at the time of this recording, we're one episode in. You do have time every time you go into the app, like you could download it in a month, and there's a button on there that says catch up, and it'll walk you through every single episode.
Gotcha.
And whatever the most recent decisions are that can be made, you can go in and make them. So I would say it's definitely a keeper right now, just for experience, like to check it out, because I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
The negative thing about it is, well, it's not. I made that sound like it was going to be a big reveal. It's nothing crazy, but the chat is completely useless.
Okay.
It's moving 1,000 miles a minute, just like impossible to read. Everything I caught was people being like, "Can people please stop texting? Stop. How do I close this? This is useless." Like,
gotcha.
Literally,
does it cover the game screen, or is it to the side?
It's to the side, and there is a button where you can disable it.
Oh, nice.
I mean, it's completely useless. It stopped at one point, and I don't even know if it was because my internet disconnected or something like. But it's like watching,
It's like watching a super popular Twitch streamer.
Exactly, where it's just impossible to read. Except I was watching it on my phone, and it's just like rifling through.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of people being like, "This is dumb. What is this? This is dumb." Like, and you just can't even.
That's the thing. So many people are already dogging on it before it was even out. So.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just a really interesting experience. I would say check it out because you can access all of the key features and everything for free. It's no cost. So if you are into the games, into the Silent Hill universe, the episode was underwhelming. It was a little bit whatever. And
it's weird for the first episode that they would decide to make it something that's not like crazy.
Yeah, I know, and it's just very like, feels set up. It feels like, okay, you're here. I got to rewatch it today because I missed, like I said, probably the first couple minutes of the live one. And the event at the end, I don't even know who the character was that we were trying to like save from this terrible scenario. The monsters looked cool.
Yeah.
Definitely wasn't like scary or anything, but I don't know if it's going to get scarier. If we're going to get like jump scares and feel more like a horror movie. I would like it to feel that way.
Yeah.
But we're not quite there yet.
Not yet.
But I would definitely say check it out.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Dude, we just talked about 150,000 games.
So many.
We're almost at 2 hours.
Almost at 2 hours.
What do we have? Let me see. If we were, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think we got to call it there.
I agree, because I think I'm sick of talking.
Yeah, I know. Me too. You feeling that?
It was a lot.
That was a lot. And the next stuff that I have to talk about, I really want to like take a look.
Yeah, I don't have as much research as I wanted. So.
Listen.
Hey,
you guys are the coolest. This was so long. I hope you guys still enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. I know I had a good time.
I had a fantastic time.
I'm glad.
We talked about things, and the list is clear.
The list is clear
for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, we're getting there.
We'll tackle the rest next week.
Yeah, 100%. We got a solid book section for you next
Ashley
week.
said she had no fun the whole time.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for giving us the view.
As long as you felt something, you know.
We want to invoke feelings.
That's it. We'll hang out with chat for a little bit longer, but I want to say thank you again for stopping by. This has been episode number 264. Thank you for listening. Shout out to all of our patrons. You guys are the best. Brand new episode of the Keep Up in Cricket City just went up yesterday. Maybe it was today. No, it was a couple days ago. It's up now.
Yeah.
Whenever you're listening to this podcast, that episode's up. It's a really fun one. We talk about some Halloween heartbreak. And it's a pretty good episode.
It was fun. It was about my Halloween heartbreak.
Dude, I had one too.
It's
remember?
true. It's true.
Dude, my high school, my teen movie scenario.
Yeah,
pretty rough.
Breaks my heart.
Yeah.
And the food challenges are out too.
Those are out too.
Yep.
If you are interested in some extra bonuses, you can go to patreon.com/thekeepup. We appreciate you very much. You can find us all over socials at the Keep Up Podcast. We have a ton of new reels coming out. We just filmed a lot of cool content for that I think is fun.
Yeah, I had a great time.
I think you guys will dig it too. Tim, tell everyone where they can find you.
But before that, everyone in chat, throw out some Babel words, because I gotta say stuff later.
That's right.
But people, you can find me at Collection Revolution on Twitch, on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever. I'm on the internet, guys. Just look up Collection Revolution.
He is on the internet.
And I already said Twitter, so I'm not even going to say the part where I'm... You know what I realized? I'm not Collect Revo on Twitter. I'm Collection Revo.
Oh my god.
It's so funny.
That's
it's so funny. It's so stupid. Doesn't matter. Just look up Collection Revolution. Yeah. I'll show up everywhere. Brett!
What?
Where can the good people find you?
You guys can find me at This Drink I Like It on Instagram. That's my personal page. We can hang out there. But there's also a link tree there that'll get you to all of my other projects. I have another podcast on there, my music stuff, streaming, which I'll hopefully be back to next week. I have the day this releases, I'm getting my arm cut open. So
yes.
I'm going in for surgery.
We didn't even talk about that at the top of the show.
No, I know. That'll be next week. Next week.
If he comes back.
Yeah, if I make it. So, yeah, hopefully we'll be back to streaming next week. I got a lot to catch up on. I was so stoked about doing YouTube and Twitch content in October, and I didn't get to do any of it.
Your hands were just being a jerk.
Yeah, it's all good. I couldn't hold a controller without being in pain.
Right.
But we're taking care of that. This Drink I Like It on Instagram. You can find me there. Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
No.
All right.
I think you did everything.
Tim is going to do what's called End Babble, where he talks nonsense for a little bit. Thank you guys again for hanging out. It's been episode number 264. We'll see you guys next week for 265. If you have any recommendations, suggestions, anything like that, hit us up on the socials. Let us know what you want us to watch or play or read or eat or whatever.
Yeah, you're all just lovely.
Tim, your theme for End Babble tonight is Pumpkin Spice Waffle Collection.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Love you. Bye.
The spice in the air. It stings like stinky donkeys.
Ugh.
And the donkeys, they go, nay, Winnie. And the stank is nothing but pumpkin spice. As you inhale it, it reminds me, it reminds you, it reminds us of your youth, of the childhood that you once believed in, when your mother made you waffles, and you always stuck one in your pocket. and brought it to your bedroom. And you had your waffle collection mounted up for years and years. The oldest, moldiest, greenest waffle at the bottom was still your favorite. You named him Chrysanthemum. And he was your best friend. But one day you returned home to find your waffle collection gone. Your mother, who produced the most perfect waffles, was also the destroyer of all waffles. And she cleaned your room unlike anybody who has ever cleaned your room before. And so sad, lonely Chrysanthemum now sits at the bottom of a trash bag, long forgotten by time. And one day, maybe you'll find his pumpkin spice smell once again in your mouth. And so I'll leave you with this. Don't keep food in your room. Clean it out. If it starts to get moldy, that's the time to do it. But just clean your room. Otherwise, you too will lose what you love. Thank you.
Your wisdom.
Oh, goodness.
I never want to talk again.
My throat says no more. Tim, I see that little stitched frame I did for you. And it makes me smile. The fact that I feel so... Brett just died. Comfortable and happy on your streams. That I would give you such a special gift. Just happy feels. That makes me feel happiness in my not so happy life. So I had a good time. Pandoro! My heart, it melts. I do love it. Every time I look at it, I'm so... It warms my heart. It really does. It is... It was such a nice gift. And I am glad I can, both of us, Brett too, Brett included, that we can, bring some smiles, bring some laughs, bring some. Oh, I was just responding to your comment. She said, "Am I being summoned?" So it's fine. It's cool. It's fine. No, I really appreciate it as well that you thought to send such a. No, I keep hearing Pandora. Pandoro. Pandori. But you do rock. You're amazing. And if your life is being glum, I say punch it in the nuts and walk all over it.
Wow, dude.
And you take your life by the horns. Also, Jones, welcome in. Welcome in.
Also, Jones, welcome.
Welcome in. Barry said, I'm chasing Baby Barry to bed. Absolutely assists with the horror subtitle with bad versions of games. Heck yeah. Stunky Bunky. Stunk in a Bunky. Stunk in a Bunky. I love Future Jet Set Red. It was awesome to play. Radio. I'm having some major issues with words tonight. Hey, you did it, Pandoro. You did it. Welcome in. And Jones, never played Cyberpunk. Recommended. I love it.
Super Keeper.
Yeah, Super Keeper for sure. I had to think about it. Yeah, you did. It's great. Just ate a bunch of food and kinda in a half food coma right now. Love that. That's how you should spend your night, Jones. Eating food and relaxing.
Food and staying rude.
Ashley, also welcome in.
Hello, Ashley.
I think I'm caught up, right? Yeah. Well, Pandora, I really do appreciate it. That stitching back there, the Collection Revolution, it's beautiful.
Collect Revo.
It's me, Collect Revo. All the people who've been trying to follow me, I've been telling them lies. Lies and sickness. But this is where we're going to wrap up the podcast. Brett and I are going to go play Patty Cake. And that's it. That's it. That's the end of it.
That's it.
Patty Cake. Oh, I should stand. It's been a while.
Patty Cake.
My blood.
Cake, baker's bum.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, everything shut off, Ashley. You should know at this point.
Ashley.
You sleepy lady. Enjoy your cakes of Pat. I will. Brett,
Y'all
will
are the
you?
coolest.
Yeah, you guys are amazing.
Yep.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks for being here for the podcast.
Thank you for being a friend.
Thank you for being a friend. So I will be back tomorrow playing the new RoboCop video game.
Oh, that's cool.
I can't wait.
You have to. It's tomorrow.
I have to, yeah.
Tomorrow's different.
Sponsor stream. They sent me the code because they're like, Tim, you're sexy.
Really?
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah. Although I applied for it. But still,
Well, yeah, but they said yes.
You're right.
I've applied for jobs and they said no.
Every single mother flipping time.
Dude, don't ever touch mine.
I hate this.
That's yours forever.
I hate this.
I'm going upstairs. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye. Why did I say bye? I'm not leaving. I mean, I am. I'm about to.
Are you?
In a minute. We got a raid.
Thank you guys for hanging out.
Bye to you both. See you again. Spoons.
Appreciate you all much.
Appreciate much you all.
Yeah.
Who's on Twitch right now? Who can we raid into?
Dude, raid me.
Okay, Brett, go live. Go live. So yes, I will be back tomorrow. I really do appreciate you all being here and being incredible. Let's see. Yo, Young's on. I always like raiding into Young. Young's a great guy. What's he doing? He's playing something that's good enough for me. Yeah, so we're gonna raid into Young. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow and then Friday and Sunday for Sonic Sunday. You guys know how it is. You guys know how life is. So have a good night. Enjoy the evening you spend with each other. Enjoy the meals you spend eating together. I don't know. I'm rambling. We talked a lot. So thank you. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to leave you guys with my new starting soon screen, thanks to the wonderful Goomba. I want everyone to look at it again. The lonely Goomba here. He made it specially for me. So goodbye, my friends. Blah, 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 blah.